Well, my friends, welcome to another episode of the DC Infinite Hour. Joining me as always, the amazing Rob D. Toys.
What's up,
What's going
guys?
on? The legendary Brad, the DC Universe Geek. Oh, look at that. And
Gotta
I
pour
am
my
so
cold
gonna-
one.
There it is. I'm also drinking a non-alcoholic beverage, of course. Of course.
Is that's not non-alcoholic beverage? That can't be non-alcoholic.
I mean,
No one
who
drinks
knows?
non-alcoholic on purpose, except for ex-alcoholics.
That's true.
This is a terrible pour.
We have a
Well, before
lively
we get
chat.
started,
Oh yeah, Rob, go. I'm sorry. Yes.
before I forget, I'm trying to see who. I want to make sure that I get this right.
Oh, that's a
Brad.
banner topic, Rob. That when you sent us earlier.
Oh, that was.
I made it a topic.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah, actually,
we'll,
let's make it our first topic. That's a fun
Okay.
like icebreaker
Good.
topic.
Hi,
'cause I want to
everybody.
make sure.
For our first topic today,
Robert-
go ahead.
Robert
Rob.
Davis. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Canadian
Rob, you
American
describe the
Coin.
topic. Go for it.
So he asked me to ask Brad because he couldn't make it on the chat. So shout out to him. Thanks for watching, buddy. In Canada, do you get like American coins, quarters, dollar bills,
in the laundry
whatever?
machines, like. Yeah.
And does Canada accept that, or do they prefer that you like trade it in?
They're so nice, they just take the quarters. Like
That's-
even if you try to use a quarter, that's how nice they are.
I think it's more like we're like, ooh, this money's worth more than ours. Ooh. Yeah, no, we find definitely American money, within our change because our money is so similar in size and
Yeah.
weight that people go to the States for a vacation from Canada and they come back and it's like they change their bills back because they want to get
Right.
the heart, but they got maybe like $5 in change in their pocket. And they're like, well, they just add that to their regular change and they just shop with it. So it circulates. So yeah, I mean, I see American money all the time in my money,
Nice.
but we just treat it like Canadian money,
Makes sense.
like Monopoly
That
money.
I love that.
What is
Is that
Timpool,
the
guys?
Bierstein or whatever?
Darth Gutierrez left
Beer man.
Timpool for this. Whatever Timpool is, I appreciate you, Darth. We all do. Thank you for leaving Timpool for this. Heck of a guy. I'm sorry, guys. Well, here we are again, guys. The chat's very kind people in the chat. People are happy to be here. I'm always shocked when people say stuff like that. It's just so kind, you know?
Yeah, Tim Pool is a very popular fella, or hated, depending on
Oh yeah.
what side of the political fence you fall on. So yeah,
Oh,
him coming here from Tim Pool is a little bit of a big deal, actually.
Okay.
And if
good.
everybody in the chat can hit that like button on wherever you're watching it from,
There you
so
go.
that it helps the algorithm and
For-
spread the
It's a-
word.
It's the fourth show. We finally said something like that to help ourselves.
Why not, right?
Good job, Rob. Better late than ever.
How many
Hit
of you
that
folks
subscribe button too.
subscribe to their channels? Subscribe to
No.
their channels.
we're
Ahsoka,
fine, dude.
he's fantastic. No, stop
Brad,
it.
no,
Stop it, Ahsoka.
Brad. Stop.
His channel's fantastic. He's really, really good with the reviews. He's very simple. He's very. You feel like you just want to kick back and drink
Yes.
a pint while he's doing his review. You just feel so good
Exactly.
after he finishes doing his review. I like his reviews. He's so positive.
I appreciate it. And I love Brad. Brad inspired me in a lot of ways. You
Well,
know.
thank you.
And Rob's reviews, I love all 5 of them because he's such a perfectionist. He refuses to do more reviews. He's like, I don't have 10 hours for my production quality.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's Rob, you're a busy man too. I mean, you're
I'm very busy. Yeah,
always doing
unfortunately.
something. But it's okay
Yes.
because your photos are fantastic. We've been through this.
Thank
I like
you.
drool over your photos whenever you load them up. Hey.
Nice. Hey,
Okay.
buddy. How you doing?
We know Shatang from Instagram. He actually moved to Canada from India. So
Oh, wow.
he's in your neck of the woods now.
Well, it depends on where he is in Canada. Canada's a huge country.
That's true.
Although we
Yeah,
all
you know.
kind of live close to the border.
Right, he's on the same
Yeah.
continent at least now.
Yeah.
Well, I like this. Hello, metahumans.
I love that.
You guys are definitely more meta than I am.
All right, guys, let's jump into some topics.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
jump into some topics. Hey, we got a lot of topics today. Why don't we start off? You guys want to do the book club first?
Yeah,
What do you think?
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right.
let's do it.
Brad, this
Yeah,
is your baby, so you talk about what we're gonna do here.
Well, it's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to chat about it. It's not like, I've never actually been to a book club,
Me neither.
so I don't know what you're actually supposed to do. I just know that everyone gets together and they read a book, and then they talk about it. They
The
perhaps
themes
have
of the
tea
book.
or coffee. There's always someone who's never read the book, and everyone's like, "You didn't read the book." Yeah, I did. Well, then if you read the book, then what does it say about Albert and his relationship to Stuart? And they're like, well, they okay, I didn't read the book. So that's all I know. But so yeah, the one that we just read, the first one is Batman Hush. So we all read Hush again from cover to cover, which is nice.
I
It's
don't have my
refreshing.
copy with me. Sorry.
That's all right.
But you read it online, you were saying, right?
I did because I didn't want to go back through all of my comics to just hunt for it
Yeah.
because I'd have to rip apart my room.
That's exactly. Well, the thing is, anything that we would be reading that I have in single issues, I'm gonna buy the graphic novel for
There's
sure.
Roland
Because
with what a book club was supposed to do: brief synopsis and everybody's takeaway.
yeah, I figured it'd be something like that. So, all right. So as far as the story of,
Can
go
I
ahead.
just preface this by saying, so I read it when we first said we were going to read it, and it's been what, a week now or so.
2.
I'm like 2 weeks, and I'm like, man, I should have reread it before we did this, but whatever.
I'm a slow reader, so
That's okay.
it took me, a while to get through it. All right. So the basic story of Hush, as we all know.
One more tangent before you go into
yes.
it, Brad. Do you guys find that it's harder to get through a graphic novel these days? Like, I remember when I was younger, I could breeze through this in a day. Perhaps kidding. Do you guys does it take you long to read stuff, or is it just me?
I take forever because I'm recording videos and I've got 4 kids and I'm married and I want to spend time with her. It takes me forever. So I pretty much have to do a lot of my reading while I'm pooping.
Okay.
Everyone's quiet after I said that. Come on, everyone reads their comics on the toilet, right? I'm not the only guy that reads comics on the crap.
I don't, for personal reasons. The doctor recommended not to stay on the toilet too long. It's
5 minutes.
Yeah, so that's why I don't do that anymore. I try not to bring my phone in anymore.
Yeah, you know what?
I will in and out.
No, I'll take the hemorrhoids if it means I get 10 minutes of quiet time. I will trade that for quiet time. Absolutely. Hem me up, boys. Hemorrhoid me up.
I just get my quiet time when I go to take out the trash and I'm on the side of the house for 2 minutes on my phone while I'm coming back. That's
that's not enough time for me.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm sorry, Brad. Go get back to it. Back to it.
All right. So the basic story of Hush, as we all know, is it's a great mystery that Batman has to figure out. And it involves some of his classic rogues and even one of his dear friends, Superman. And he's trying to figure out this mystery. And it takes him so long to find out. It starts with his line being cut, really. And there being this whole setup in the beginning with Killer Croc. And he's like, this doesn't quite seem like Killer Croc. And this gold thread is what he's been led through from the beginning of the story to the end. And he's trying to find out who this guy is. Who is this dude? And that's why the readers at one point were led to believe, well, maybe it was Jason Todd, at least for a chunk of the story, right? You get to the end, you're like, okay, well, that issue is not Jason Todd. And there's there's always dudes in this generic trench coat popping up. But eventually he comes to find out that this
spoiler alert. It's a 20-year-old comic, but spoiler alert.
Oh, yes, spoiler on the 20
that they read it.
Right. So after he goes through everything, after everything has been orchestrated by what he didn't know at the time was his friend Thomas Elliot, the surgeon. He goes through all this stuff, and then eventually he finds out that it's Tommy Elliot that hated him, and he was ticked off because his dad saved Tommy Elliott's mom, and then he just wanted the fortune, and he couldn't have it right away, and so he had to watch his mother wither away of cancer.
Yeah.
So that was the basic takeaway that I got from it. It was the hatred of Thomas Elliot for Bruce Wayne, for the Batman.
And just even that is so interesting on so many levels. Like, you have a guy who hates Batman because Batman's parent saved his mom, while
Yeah.
Batman is only Batman because he lost his parents.
Yeah, it was the
tragically.
opposite.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great.
Yeah, he
twist
wanted
on
his
it.
parents to die, and Bruce was devastated. And both of those things, caused each party, into action. What I didn't like, though, I didn't like how the story, it didn't explain how Thomas Elliot could go toe-to-toe with someone who traveled the world learning, like, all the world's martial arts. It never really explained that. Like, I know Batman was kind of holding back a lot of the time once he found out that Thomas Elliot was the guy behind the bandages.
But he wasn't even the main villain then, wasn't it? Wasn't it like the Riddler who
Well, he was the
helped
guy.
him?
He was the guy. That's revealed at the very, very end of the book.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of a team up between the both of them, right? Like, it was
Yeah, and then
Riddler
you-
and Tommy
Well, the
Elliot.
Riddler was the brains behind it. He was the real brains
Yeah.
behind it.
I mean, I think what was interesting about the story is that at the heart of it, it was like a Batman Catwoman like twosome.
Yeah.
Not much Robin, very little, and the romance that was started in there. But yeah, I like it because it was kind of like the Long Halloween. It was like you had all these, characters, foes that they had to fight and stuff. So even though they sprinkled them in, they were there, and that was kind of nice to see that. And I think the best Batman stories kind of have that. Like if you look back, like Nightfall, So
Well, and it was a mystery, right?
Mhm.
Like you had to come back every week to learn a little bit more about the story. But it was also an action-packed comic book, like an action-packed story. So I feel like the story encompassed the best of what a Batman story is. Like I went into this like having a hard time deciding what my favorite Batman story was of all time.
Yeah.
And I came out of this going, wow, reading this as a graphic novel makes it a lot easier. It's kind of like watching Lost, right? You watch Lost and you're like, what the hell am I watching? It's been years. But I never watched Lost on TV when it was contemporary. I watched it afterwards. I binged the whole thing. And so I understood everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And people would be like, I used to watch Lost, but then it was like, they were all just dead the whole time. I'm like, no, that's not what was happening.
Lost spoilers for anyone that wandering into this.
Like another 15-year-old show.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like, I feel like when you come at a story that takes a year worth of issues to unfold, right? By the end of the story, you've forgotten some of the things that happened in the beginning. And like, I'm guilty of that horribly. Like I'll read like a year worth of Superman and I have to go back and like reread something again. So having it all right there, and I didn't read anything else while I was reading it. I just read Hush. So when I was reading a comic, it was going to be Hush. And it was nice. It was really nice to understand the story better than I had. But the relationship between Thomas Elliot and Bruce was, in my opinion, the Catwoman thing was the most iconic.
Yeah.
Because they really springboarded off of that, right? Because, technically Catwoman was sort of a distraction for him. But in the same token, he kind of always loved her, right? It wasn't like he felt towards Talia. Like he actually felt something towards Selina. So everything was working together against Bruce in this story. Even, his feelings for Selina. And so even though it was very much a Selina story, I really felt that the main thing for me was watching that relationship between Thomas and Bruce. And I guess the flashbacks of the dead giveaway that it was always really supposed to be about Thomas and Bruce.
Yeah.
I think also just like thinking back as I was reading this, like this, first of all, it was Jim Lee's first like major DC work,
Yeah.
And he got out on time, 12 issues in a row. And that was like
on time
in itself. Yeah, on time. And like it brought me back to the days when I like really looked forward to the next issue of something coming out.
Yeah.
Because each one was so freaking good.
Yeah.
And it was like appointment. You got to be there Wednesday to grab this book.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I mean, look at this. And like, it was a love letter to Batman, to comic books, to like his villains. Like Jeff Loeb, the writer, one of my favorite writers. He's just amazing. Like this is, I think, one of his, this is the way he writes.
That's a crowning work.
Crowning work.
That's a crowning work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he writes so well for the artist. He like
Yeah.
knows what Jim Lee's good at, which is
Yeah.
everything, and he writes for him. And it's just like,
Yeah.
man, like every one of these pages could be. I mean, has been a poster.
I was gonna say that.
you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
like Jim did so many spreads and iconic pieces of art in there. I mean, you can buy a Hush Batman calendar, and it's just
I
Jim
have
from
it.
the pages. You have the Hush calendar?
Yeah,
There you
I don't
go.
know where it's at, but I have the Hush, and then I have the Man of Steel one that he
Man
did.
for Tomorrow, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I have
That's
those
right
two
there.
calendars.
That
see?
like reveal of Jason Todd, which later it's funny
Turns
when
out
they
to-
Yeah,
it
do
is
you think
Jason
they
Todd.
knew?
You know?
Do you think they had that set up ahead of time, or do you think they were like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's actually use that"?
I think the latter. I think I don't think they had that set up.
Because like
it was a different writer.
it got such like a "oh my god" type moment, you know.
Well, I think people that
Yeah.
were left on the cliffhanger were like, "Oh my god, that's Jason Todd," and then you
Yeah.
find out later, no, that's not.
Right.
That's Clayface.
But then he comes back looking almost exactly like that with the gray streak and everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
yeah. Well,
And they wrote it into the story, I think Heart of Hush, or one of the stories, or the Jason Todd follow-up, and it was like he switched places with Clayface during the fight.
Yeah.
That's the way they sort of retroactively wrote it. So I don't know if it was all
Yeah.
planned out. I don't think so, but
yeah, that seems like more accurate. They went back and did stuff.
and
Yeah.
it worked. It worked.
You know what? I think that either because like DC plans ahead, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes they plan very, very well, and sometimes they don't plan very well. But I feel like this particular era of DC, there were some really great stories that were told, and some
Yeah.
pretty darn good universe building happened in this era of DC. It was one of the best times, I think, post 90s to be collecting
Yeah.
DC comics. There was like a window of time where it was like really great, and I feel like that this story was part of it. So yeah, I mean, they were planning ahead. Maybe they had always planned to have Jason look like that, or the other idea is maybe they were like, wow, the fan reaction to DC Comics to Jason Todd was so
Yeah.
big that now we have to run with it, right? Like maybe people really want Jason back. So it could be either. It's hard to tell. I don't know.
It would be interesting. I wonder if they ever talked about that. I'm sure was that during Dan Dido's era as publisher. I think
I believe so.
I believe,
Yeah.
he was. I don't think he'd been publisher for how long had he been publisher at that time?
Not too long. I think
I always called him Dan Didio when I was younger.
Is it Didio?
No,
Or
it's Dan
Dido?
Dido. I was wrong. I called him Dan Didio.
They say Chris mentioned in the chat, they piggyback bringing Jason Todd after Marvel brought back Bucky as Winter Soldier. I don't
Oh.
remember the timing. You might be right, Chris. I don't remember
Yeah.
it was Jason first or Bucky first, or it was around the same time. It was very interesting, those parallels.
I wasn't reading Marvel, so I would honestly not know. And I wasn't even buying a ton of comics at the time that this came out. I just didn't have the money to. I was so broke.
This is the new edition, my DC Figures friend.
And
Brad.
so,
had a different edition.
what's the new stuff added to that?
So at the end of it, he basically, I don't know if I want to spoil it for anyone who wants to buy this book.
Hi, my
I'll tell
DC
you-
I
figures.
might.
I'll tell you guys afterwards. So just anyone who's joining us, the copy I got is the new version, and there's like 3 extra pages.
And I got
Is it
the
worth?
old one.
Yeah, if it's worth buying for those extra pages, probably not. But I don't want to.
Is yours
spoil it for anyone.
hardcover? Is yours
Yeah, it's a
hardcover?
hardcover. Yeah.
Okay, well, so
Does it add to the story, or is it just
It
kind
does.
of like
It's like a little epilogue, basically. It's like a
Okay.
little epilogue, and it's Jim Lee doing Batman. A few more pages of that. So
always
yeah,
take more of that.
always take more
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
His
but
artwork has changed though, hasn't it?
You think so? I haven't noticed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a
I
little
think
bit
it
different.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I think of iconic Jim Lee, I think of like that time period.
Yeah.
And then I look at his work now, I'm like, it's still great, but it's definitely a little bit different.
Well, you can even see the difference from the X-Men to Hush.
Yes.
That's
Yes, you
true.
can.
And to now, it definitely evolved.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. DC
All
Infinite
right.
Book Club. Hush.
Well, there
Well,
you
that's
go,
you,
guys.
you put that up there. I'm still looking at stuff that pops up on the bottom of the screen. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I just don't know if it's like a comment or
Yeah, let's go look at some comments about this specifically.
Hey, for everyone watching My DC Figures, he does really fantastic action figure reviews. Honestly. And I don't like, I'm not the kind of person that says that kind of thing. You know that I'm an honest person. So when I say it about Jay, you know, I mean it. And it's the same thing about My DC Figures. You should check out his YouTube channel as well. He does fantastic reviews. He's very upbeat as well. He's like kind of like Jay, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not too many comments here about Hush. There's a lot of random stuff. Hush is a masterpiece.
It is.
Someone says it.
It's my favorite book. I was going to say that. I forgot because, you know, drinking too much beer can lead to I forget. So yeah, I was going to say I was like, which is my favorite Batman story? But I came out of this and I'm like, I think that Hush so far is the overall best Batman story.
It's right up there with The Dark Knight Returns for me, I'd say.
Ooh,
It surpassed it for me.
Wow.
It did because I've read them both recently.
Okay.
Again,
So
I've read Dark Knight Returns so many times, and I was like, yeah. Hush
what
is
did
a
you
little
think
bit-
of All Star then, Ahsoka? Like, did you like All Star? Because isn't that
All-Star
a
Batman and
precursor?
Robin?
Whoa,
Yeah,
I loved it.
gonna be a
Loved
fight in
that
the
shit.
comments now.
Dude, that is
Yeah.
some crazy.
I mean the artwork is
whacked out.
phenomenal,
Of course.
but like
Amazing.
the storyline.
I love the story. I love when they do wacky shit like that, dude.
I will say
You
that
know?
Black Canary looked awesome in that.
Oh yeah, I think the artwork looked fantastic. That's one of the best Dick Grayson Robins I've seen.
Yes, for sure.
Fantastic. I wish that there was like a McFarlane 2-pack with those versions of the characters together because
Ooh,
just
maybe
that would be
fantastic.
good.
maybe that should be our next read, guys. Revisit All-Star
Yeah.
Batman and Robin.
Ooh, it's polarizing. I think it's great. I don't think it's canon.
No,
And the same way that
I don't
All-Star
believe
Superman wasn't. So I can read it and just go, I can read it for what it is. In the same way that, like, I don't like my Superman bad, honestly. He's supposed to be bright blue, the symbol of hope. He's supposed to make people feel inspired. He's supposed to be someone that cares for everybody and will stop an alien invasion at home, but also fly clear across the galaxy to save one life. That's who Superman is to me. So when I read Injustice, I'm like, I really don't like that version of Superman. But that means to me, I think it's kind of brilliant that it's like it's its own thing. They didn't like buggerize the current DC universe.
Yeah.
They did their own thing.
Yeah.
It's in the
thing.
game universe. And I can tell you that the storytelling and the writing in that, at least for year 1 and 2, I can vouch for, was fantastic. I loved the storytelling they were doing because they could do anything because it was its own universe. It almost felt like a weird version of what was that Marvel universe where it was like their own thing?
Ultimates.
Yeah,
Ultimate Universe, yeah.
it felt like a weird version of the
Yeah,
Ultimate.
you're right.
So they could do whatever they
version,
wanted,
yeah.
right? It was not canon. It was only canon in their universe.
I mean, I will say All-Star Superman is probably my favorite version of Superman. Like,
That's literature.
yeah, that's just
That's
beautiful.
literature.
And before we leave Hush, Ricard, I think Rob might have flashed this.
Yeah.
Opinions on Hush animated movie and how it's different from the comics. Have you guys both
Ooh.
watched the animated
Yeah,
Hush?
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
I thought it was clever how
Yeah.
they took the Hush storyline and managed to make it fit into their existing DC animated film universe. Like, because it wasn't standalone, right?
Right.
It fit into that universe, and that's when they changed Batman's suit in that one to the blue and gray. And I thought, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was never a huge fan of Batman's suit in the animated universe. I
Right. Yeah.
never
for
really
sure.
liked it. So I thought it was clever. They had to make some changes, obviously, because Tim Drake didn't exist in the animated universe.
Right.
They added, I believe it was Bane. Did they add Bane? Who was it? There was another character they swapped
Yeah,
out.
he was in it, wasn't he?
They
Huh.
swapped out
It's been a while
someone.
since I've seen it.
I'm sure someone in the comments will say, who was it? Who did they swap out? Do you guys remember?
I could see them swapping out Croc, but
Well, they
But you're
swapped
right, it
out
was-
Croc, but they put someone in. Who did they put in? I think it was Bane. Wasn't it Bane? It was Bane. I think.
It's so hard with these universe. It's like same thing when you adapt something to a movie. You just lose so much from the comic that it's
Yeah.
like, it's like, yeah, it was fine, but it just didn't have the punch of the comic. Like
No.
the history. I mean, it couldn't. But it's an adaptation, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's different when they did the Dark Knight Returns, the animated.
Yeah.
They tried to like just pretty much straight adapt it because it wasn't connected to anything.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hush when they adapted it, it was same thing with the Death and Return of Superman.
Yeah.
Like that was connected to the DC universe, animated universe at large. So
Mhm.
they treated them differently. Now, I will say, oh yeah, it's Benny. That's my best friend's boy. How's it going, Benny? I will say that I personally would have actually liked it better if with the animated Hush they had to just done it as a standalone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like they did with All Star Superman.
Absolutely.
Didn't they
Right,
do that with
make a
Long
standalone.
Halloween?
No, it was connected, I think.
Was it?
No,
Yeah.
it was standalone because it came out after the
I
Flash
want
ran into the White.
I think it is
It was part of the second release.
I want to say it's connected. They do it well where you
Oh,
don't
wow.
you don't notice it's connected, but it's the
So
same
is it
animation
connected to
style.
the new animated universe?
Yes, it's the new animated universe that's
Ah,
connected.
so
yeah.
it is connected. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
It was the art style. It was the same, like with the
I
black
love that art
outlines.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it's
I
growing
know,
on me, you know?
I know they changed the art style, so I just figured that they were just sticking with that.
Yeah.
More cinematic, really, more cinematic art style. But I didn't catch that it was connected.
Yeah.
Okay, and that worked really well.
I thought so.
Yeah, it
I think
did.
that was pretty good. You know?
But it's an animated universe that's new, right?
Right.
So they don't have the constraints of, oh no, this character doesn't exist in this universe like they did
Right.
with the last one, right?
And they didn't
kinda
have to do a
dance
bunch
around
of
that.
Batman villains in that either. Like you don't get all these different villains, and there's no Robin in it anyways, so you don't have to deal with like the Robin question, which version it is.
It's a strip. It's stripped down, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's stripped down.
Right.
But which is fine. I mean, it took them 2 movies to get it what they did. Sorry, I'm pouring a beer, so I got to look
Oh, that's
down.
all right. It's all right.
This
All right,
this next beer is fantastic for those of you at home who maybe don't know about this one. Juicy Ass. It is a fantastic IPA.
Is that a local Canadian brewer?
Brewed in Canada, yeah, by Flying Monkeys. Oh,
Well,
Barry.
it's called the Tomorrowverse. That's what they're calling it.
But I have seen this in the States, in Indiana. So you should be able to get it.
Brad, when are you going to make it down to the States again, by the way?
I don't know. When we used to go to the States, we used to stay at a friend's house. And so it costed us the gas to get there and back.
Yeah.
And then we would have like $2,000 for farting around with and buying stuff and contributing to food and this and that. And that was it, like gas and food. So we weren't paying for lodgings. So for us to go to the States, like we lose money right away. I think right now it's like our dollar is worth like 70 cents to your dollar.
Yeah.
So we lose money. So it's just really expensive.
I know.
For us to go. So I mean, I would love to go to New York Comic-Con. Every year I consider starting up a channel GoFundMe or something like that to get me there. But I'm like I've never even opened up a Patreon. Like I've talked about it and people have said, yeah, you should do a Patreon. I'm like, I just don't want to. Like if people watch my videos and they like them and I make a bit of money off that, that's great. But I just don't feel, not that it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong, but I just don't feel like I have enough to offer to have Patreon tiers, you know?
Would you, let's say you did start a Patreon, right? So that means you have to start doing like Patreon exclusive content. And
that's exactly
you know, is it, do you think, you find it more stressful to have to like produce more content for that sole purpose?
Yes. And the thing is, what some people do is they just like do like B grade content, right?
Yeah.
For that. They're just like, here's some behind the scenes. And it's just like not edited stuff. Like it's really basic. Not everyone does that, but that is very common. And I would have to do stuff like that. It would have to be just like one takes. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. Like I don't feel like I'm that interesting.
Well, I don't feel like
that's because you're my friend.
Yeah, no, you're a really interesting dude. I think Rob agrees. You know.
Oh yeah.
Rob's such a good straight man. He created a comedy series. You know what I mean? He's just like that, you know?
No, and then the smirk a little bit after.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone's getting nervous when the smirk comes. No, I don't know. So, but yeah, I do want to come to the States just to answer the question. I really do want to come to the States again. I want to go to New York.
If you do come, like, hit me up because I think we're like 8 hours apart.
Well, I could technically drive to your place, but like I've also got the family.
Yeah.
I can't even sleep without my wife.
Pardon? Really? You couldn't ditch her for the New York trip?
No. I can't.
Oh,
Like we're like
what a nice guy, dude.
we've been married for 20 years, and it's like we've only ever been apart for about a week. When I was
Oh,
back in town here looking for a place, and she was
Wow.
finishing up school in Kingston. That was it, and I just can't do it. Like I have to go to
Dang
bed
it.
and sleep next to her every night. So yeah,
That's commendable.
I'd be a mess. But just her and I coming.
You could hug Rob. You know, if you see the warm body. You know.
I
Right there,
almost
dude.
kissed my old best friend one time in bed. It was weird. No, I better explain that, shouldn't I? Yeah.
No, leave it. Leave
Just
that.
let it
I love-
hang.
Yeah, let it
Yeah,
hang.
leave it
Let's go on to
hang,
the next
man.
topic. I love it.
It was the
I
middle of
love
the night. I thought it was my girlfriend at the time. I forgot that he was in the bed and not her. He was visiting.
it. Rob,
I'm
I've,
out of
I've had
town.
I've had too many drinks in me. I would have taken this too far.
Am I
don't mind.
I'm-
How can you explain it?
And that is password. No. Okay, let's go on to the next topic. Let's keep into the toys. Let's talk about McFarlane recent reveals. Ooh.
What has he
Mc-
revealed recently?
There's a couple of things. It's stuff that he already announced, but we got official pictures.
Well,
So
stuff that
I think
I've done
yeah.
videos on it, right?
yeah, you've done videos on. We'll just talk about it. You know what I mean?
I can't even remember.
Let's go over to my Chrome.
And you're not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Rob's page displayed
Ooh.
just because I was just looking at his face. But let's go to the McFarlane site. Oh, type in here. McFarlane Toys official. All right, so
Oh, yeah.
recently, that's been a bunch of things.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about this one, right?
No, not.
Darn,
no,
that
we
looks
talked
good.
about Deadman and Aquaman, and
Mm-hmm.
did we talk about the
Yeah.
Signal?
I don't
Can't
think so. It's later on. It's
No.
after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That figure gives me hope that we're going to get a whole Kingdom Come universe, or at least
Oh yeah.
5 or 6 characters, because Todd never gives us just one character from a story. It's at least 4 or
And
5.
that's such a great design.
It looks
Beautiful.
So good. It looks
Yeah,
so
I mean,
amazing.
I know some people are complaining about the cape, whatever you call that,
the wings there.
the wings, but I
What
don't
are they
mind
complaining
it.
about?
I don't. That's the hinges and stuff like that they want to, I don't mind the hinges.
It's a toy,
Yeah, exactly.
like a collectible. Like he knows that we're collecting, but it's still a toy, right? And he's doing these on the cheap in comparison to what.
Now, my question is, does it have some thigh swivel at the upper part? Because the way that the leg is turned
The
and
armor.
bent down,
Yeah.
it does look like it's got a better thigh swivel. I
Like
don't
maybe-
think there's a cut, but
like
I
a
think
socket
that it
inside
might.
of the armor.
Yeah,
Yeah. Could be.
because
Could be.
I don't see how that's possible without it having a better thigh swivel than most of the other ones.
It's funny with this one. He's tried to cut the armor in such a way that the articulation points look natural
They do, yeah.
to what the character's supposed to look
Yeah.
like. And I'm just so excited. This guy, he's not even my favorite version of Batman. It's
No.
because
I know,
Todd's
that's
doing him.
what's
I'm like, oh,
crazy.
okay, that guy looks right. I'm
And even
not like a hubba Todd kind of guy, but this just looks really good. Now it's got like ideal lighting and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
Photoshop work done to it. But
Even the facial expression with that like
Grim.
smile he has.
you can see
You
a
know,
smile.
I think it's a smile. It's that, and it's just like from the comic when he comes out in this armor out of like the cloud or the sky. Oh man,
It's like old decrepit bats that has
yeah,
uncontrollable
Darth
flatulence.
Vader bats. You know,
Yeah,
with the
got an
breathing
exosuit holding them
apparatus, yeah.
together.
I fucking love it. Excuse me, I love it. All right, let's see what else we got. Did
we talk about Catwoman at all?
No, I don't think we
I
did.
don't
Oh,
recall
you're right.
talking
I'm
about-
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jim Ballant.
Jim
Catwoman.
Ballant.
Jim Ballant, man, do you remember when Jim Ballant hit the scene with that?
Yeah.
Holy cow, man.
1990.
I was a young man, Rob.
93.
I know, like I had the Wizard with Jim Ballant and his whole like collection of X-Women and Catwoman and all that. Like
He
his
certainly
robe.
had a way with drawing the ladies back then.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
I would have blushed if I brought that home to my parents. All that booty and booby. I would have been like,
Yeah.
nope, can't. My mom would be
No,
like,
no,
what's
no, no.
that?
What are you looking at?
Yeah.
You know?
What is that?
It's a beautiful figure though. Like I think the
Yeah.
proportions are really great. Like they got the Jim Belant like look, but not
Yeah.
overdid it. They were very conservative. I feel.
Yeah.
I think it's
I-
awesome.
I do wish if I like you could had it my way. What I would do is I would make sure that aside from movie figures, that we always got either the most popular or the contemporary version of a character first, right? So we would
Yeah.
get the comic book accurate version of Catwoman from when she had the goggles, because arguably that's the most popular version of the character. Now I do know that the Ballant version of Catwoman is some people's favorite version of Catwoman, so that could just be me, but like it's between these two, right, that I would think are the most
Yeah.
popular.
Do you think that the Arkham one is kind of like, hey, this is our like, it's awesome. I mean, I know it's a Arkham, but it
nah,
could
you know what?
stand in.
Yeah, it can be a stand-in. It looks great. Like that's where I've got it. But no, I think that like he would still do a regular black and white Catwoman for sure. Like if like
Yeah.
he's not thinking of that as his stand-in. Well, I'll just give him that. Like I think he would do like a regular version as well for sure.
Oh, Miss
Yeah.
Blizzard, cute granny diaper. The diaper doesn't bother me. It's
Yeah, it doesn't. It
I
doesn't
get
bother
it.
me
I'm
either.
not- I don't want to say that
I
it's not
see
there,
it, but it's
it
not
doesn't
that big
bother
of a deal.
I see it as a necessary part of articulation, unless you end up with one thing I never liked was the way that like I loved the new DC multiverse figures from Mattel, like when the final few waves when they were fixing the articulation and the legs,
Yeah.
but I never
Mhm.
liked how it looked. Right? Like I never liked how it looked up there. So like I'll take something like this. I'm okay with that. And I try to like I think for most characters, if I can do like what the figure can do, or like if the articulation goes beyond what a normal human can do, or like even a superhero can do, then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's not that big of a deal. Like it's that's a bit much. I like it, but it's a bit
like
much.
how many people are actually doing the Van Damme splits?
Right,
Like
between two transport trucks.
Yeah. Exactly, right?
Yeah. Like I'm a
Jean
middle
Claude.
ground. I'm a middle ground articulation person. It's got to be articulated. I don't want it to be a statue, but
Yeah.
and sometimes form over function, and sometimes function over form.
Right. You just got distracted
would
by
agree.
Superboy's butt.
That's a tease. That's what that is. Not his butt. The back of the figure in general is a tease. Okay, not as tushy.
I mean, listen. First of all, I mean Connor Kent. I mean, it's our boy. It's
Yeah.
our boy.
Yep. We don't get
and
enough
then,
Connors.
and this is obviously not Reign of the Superman, Connor
Nope.
Kent.
Yeah, that's
we
sad
know
part, I
that
think,
us old
but-
timers immediately by the color of the S logo and the
Yeah,
spikes
and the spikes and the gloves.
and the gloves.
His gloves had fingers back then, and now they're fingerless.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is still a beautiful figure. I mean, for what
It
we
is.
see so far.
I'm
Yeah.
stoked they brought him.
Well, they showed the front of him in the New York Comic Con.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's small. Like you took the
True.
best shot you could, but like it wasn't like a close-up shot. So
Correct.
yeah, I'm just glad that Connor's back in comics in the first place, because he was like,
Yeah.
he was a. Let's face it, because I mean, this is going to be one of our topics, right? What made the '90s great coming up?
Right.
He was one of the things that set the '90s apart, amongst the many things. Right? Was this like new
Mhm.
take on Superboy? And at first, those who weren't hardcore Superman fans were like, "All right, it's kind of weird. He's got an undercut haircut, and he's got a leather
Yeah.
jacket, and he's kind of douchey." But it makes sense he'd be douchey because he hadn't been alive before. He didn't know how he social graces. What are those? Right? He was a clone, right? So, and we loved him, and then all of a sudden it was like, poof, gone. Like they just stopped caring about him. You know, he got treated.
Well, his stint in the Titans was really good, where he was a little bit more mature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since Bendis brought him back, I've really enjoyed everything about Connor there, right? Because they brought him back in
Young Justice.
Young Justice. Yeah, and that was fantastic. He was on Gemworld. Like, out of all the ways they could have wrote him like being gone, it was like he was stuck on Gemworld with Amethyst. Right? That was just sort of like a weird thing. But it was
a
cool.
weird it
Okay.
worked. It got him
Yeah.
back. You
Yeah, it
know?
worked.
And I do love his journey, like Rob said, like from Superboy we see here to Teen Titans.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
T-shirt
yeah.
wearing.
t-shirt
Yeah.
wearing to. And he
Yeah.
did a short run. Jeff Jones did it. Adventure Comics, which
Yes,
is
he did. I've got those.
so good, right?
Yeah,
so
the artistry and
good.
the writing was really good.
Oh
That-
my
he was trying to
God.
find out who he was because he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm part Lex, I'm part Clark,
Yeah.
and like I'm fighting with myself. And he went through like a really dark time during that point. A lot of people hated that though, if you remember.
It was so good, man.
A lot of
remember
people
the
were
end of
like
that,
he's
yeah.
a lot of people were like he's emo Connor, and they didn't like that.
Oh,
I
so
remember
Nothing
that.
wrong with emo.
I'm a little emo. I'm a team Edward.
I love emo.
you know?
Punk rock.
Let's go to the
Whatever.
next. Ooh, the signal.
Yes.
Never
I
had a
think
figure
we're
of him in
all
that-
like, we're all dying for this. Because like right
Yeah.
now, I think Brad, I don't know if you said it, but it's the only one, the second one, because the first one was the little Mattel Imaginext.
Yeah, we have that one in this house, but
Yeah.
Then we got
That's the only
Duke
one.
Thomas from Mattel, the Rhea
Right.
Robin version,
Yeah,
Right.
which
Like
is a
one of, like,
beautiful
the-
figure.
yeah, it's,
You know?
it's
And I think it's going to be pretty cool because like the Mattel's a little shorter, so it's kind of like, you know, he grew up.
grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked with the signal because I mean, you guys know I like to build up my family. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you build out your Bat family and you build out your Super family. Those are the two that I feel are the most important,
Yeah.
or at least for me. I know some people it's the Flash family, which is fantastic, and
Aquaman.
the
Sorry.
Aquaman family. You can
That's
have Mary, you
Rob.
can have Aqualad. Yep, and we do know the Aqualad's coming. Side note,
Yes.
right? I don't
Yeah,
think
the
we'll
si-
ever get a classic one, which is kind of sad.
he looks great.
Yeah. I would love a classic Mira as well.
Dude, first of all, the action
Jackass.
figure photographer Aesthetic One on Instagram.
Yeah.
What a beautiful picture! Look at this.
I wish I could take pictures like that for my YouTube videos, but
Yeah, I mean,
ev-
the lighting, the way he captures light and even
Yeah.
shadow, the shadow is,
yeah,
everybody tries to overlight everything, killing
Aye.
the shadows, but the shadows are what give the photo depth. So kudos
Yeah.
to him.
I wish I had a banner to pop up Rob's photography and video tips whenever Rob goes into his beautiful little at different theme
He's-
music playing.
he's the
So,
guy
yeah.
that knows the most about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Joker figure looks great. I'm not a big fan of the collar. Like I know that
Really?
it's based on the
Really?
cover.
Yeah, I don't
right?
mind it.
I love the
It's-
collar.
The collar's standing up. I just want like a more neutral collar. If I could have it my way, which
Pop
I
that
can't.
collar. Pop that collar. in my
well, it's not
opinion.
really. I don't know if it's popped. I think
It's not
just
popped.
It's
like
a
sort
mess
of-
because he's sitting there in the
Yeah.
chair. It's supposed to be like a dynamic shot, right? And then the
I
eye
think
being
it's
sewn
one of the
shut.
better Jokers that we've seen in a while.
It is like a collar aside. Like that doesn't change the fact that you're right. That is. It
Yeah.
is one of the better Jokers.
I love
sure.
Roland's grumpy comment sometimes. The lighting is compensation for the flat or inconsistent paints. Hey, whatever, Roland. I mean, you might be right. You might be right, but
Inexistent
whatever.
I will say this, like I'm gonna like I know this
I
is
love this.
DC
I
Infinite
love you,
Hour,
Roland.
but the paint that they use for the Avatar, I know like not everybody's like cup of tea, but the Avatar figures, like the 7-inch line, that and even the Spawn, I mean, the
Ridiculous.
paint jobs on that
Ridiculous.
are so good.
So good. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at Jake Sully.
So
Yep.
they can do it. It's
I
just
picked
they
those
need
up.
to do it to every line.
Yeah. Yes, it was so true. I mean, then you got a duck, Bill Platypus over here for some reason. I
He's
think
a
it's
cool-
turning into my
yeah.
favorite figure of the year.
He looks like a
Look at him, he
video
looks
game
like a duck.
character.
You know?
But you
He
know
went
what?
from Ahsoka's most hated to
Yeah.
favorite.
I just love it so much now. He's my little duck guy.
They're
Can't wait
not
to
bad
open it.
figures. I reviewed them and I liked them a lot better than I thought I was going to because they're just interesting.
Exactly. I was starting to grow up. I don't even want to open it up yet.
Before we get off of the Joker, though, because I know I'll forget, a lot of you folks may not be noticing this, but he's actually only got one eye. The other one's stitched shut,
Mm.
right? That's
Yeah.
there was a solo Joker comic that came out after the Joker War, and he had his one eye stitched shut because during the Joker War, spoilers, Harley shot his eye out.
Oh, I didn't even know
Yeah.
that.
She must have shot it in such a way that the bullet didn't go into his brain. I don't know how that worked, but anyway, so yeah, so he has like no eye there. So
He has a
I
really
like to figure-
thick eyeball that just stopped the bullet.
it's like I always had a glass eye. So I'll probably end up swapping the heads on mine just because I'm not like I never liked the one eye thing.
I think Rolo's right. This is George Jimenez, right? His art.
George Jimenez, or is it pronounced Jimenez?
Oh, that's a great question.
I've been pronouncing it Jimenez for a long time.
I say I butchered names. I mean, which is sad considering my name is so,
He's right. Todd couldn't afford to have that level of paints on every figure, every figure line, which is true because every time the paintbrush touches the figure, it's a penny.
Yeah.
And he pumps out the figures, and he frequently uses new sculpts. So I can't fault him for like when he does reuse a sculpt. I can't fault him because like that figure right there that you just put up, that's $100,000. Unless he's getting a deal, that's $100,000 for the steel. So yeah, I mean, I get it. He can't always put lots of paint apps on his figures.
And the lighting is so good on this one too.
Yeah,
So
good.
And the Batman frozen in the background.
Yeah.
So good.
The cool thing about this is if you're not like super keen on the color scheme, because the blue light on it makes it look like it's got blue, but if you remember what the pictures that Rob posted online were when you went to New York Toy Fair. Was it Toy Fair, right?
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
Or no, New York Comic-Con.
New York Comic-Con. Okay, sorry, my mistake. He's just like a grayish white color, right, on the lighter spots. There's no blue there. So the blue can be a little bit misleading, but you could always very easily add color to this figure on your own because he's such a neutral color to begin with. So, and I might end up doing that, and I suck with a brush, but I feel like it should be pretty easy. Great look.
I told Rob before, I'm just not a customizer. Like I believe I'm a stock I'm a stock collector. You know what I mean? I have to.
You're a hoarder.
It's got to be exactly what was sold. I just can't get
back.
I know.
So you're one of those people that's like, you have to have it as it was intended, vanilla.
Even if it's
two. I need one stock and one custom. Boom. If I'm doing a custom.
Boom. That's it right there.
But I can't have just a custom. I have to have as it was intended as well.
Yes.
Well, Brad's got to have like 5 variations. Plus
the original, that's true though.
Plus one.
It is true.
No, okay. To be fair, it's only figures I like. Like the lighter, like the Hush Superman that Todd did, Angry Face.
Yeah.
I've got one in the package, and then I've got 3 that I've customized. But that's because I ordered 2 right away online, and then my local GameStop, they just keep pulling them out. So I snag them up every once in a while. And they even put one on the sale section, like right in the front. So I was like, they must want to really get rid of it. I don't mind.
I'm still waiting and hoping that we get a plain face, neutral face of that. And then I will purchase like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. Here's to hoping.
Yeah.
I think he will, right? Because I mean,
I think so.
The angry face, wasn't that gold label?
Yes, it was. So
okay, so then there will definitely be a regular face. Goes without saying. Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised we're getting such a classic.
I mean, it's not 100% classic, but it's
the
like
modern take
98% classic.
It's contemporary. It's modern now.
Yeah.
So it's like the modern take on the classic suit. That's exactly what that is. Like that's what he's wearing right now.
It's
in the
gorgeous.
comic books. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it's a great reuse of the speed metal J, right? It's basically the speed metal J, right? Just heavily altered, or do you think it's a brand new sculpt?
I think it's a brand new one.
Brand new sculpt. Even the head. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's the same head sculpt.
I don't know.
Now, what would be really good, because obviously we know that accessories are usually whatever, but what would be great to see is a second head with a helmet. So like he's not wearing a helmet, but you can hold the helmet.
I don't know. I feel like it might be the same figure. Like it's.
I don't know. My money's on it's not, dude. Look at the chin.
The chin. It's hard to see in my.
And the shape of the nose.
It might be, and the bulkiness of it. I feel like it's very.
And look at how much his lightning goes up. Look at how big his lightning bolt. Maybe the midriff is the same.
Yeah, there's. I think the
torso definitely is not. Yeah. Like it didn't even start being the same. Like it's completely different.
You're right. You're right.
And the pants. Is there any texture on the pants on that one there you're holding?
Not a little bit.
Well, I like that the helmet looks chrome.
Yeah, a nice chrome finish to it. The new one.
Well, and they
Yeah.
they make a marker now, right? That is like permanent, and it chromes. You can chrome with the marker. It's
Oh,
not
really?
just silver. Oh yeah, it's like a mirror finish.
Huh.
So I'm gonna look that up online for this, for sure. Yeah, super stoked about this. All we need is Bart Allen, and we'll have
We
the
do-
basic
yeah.
Flash family, and then they can start building out the more B-listy
We
characters.
do need a Bart. I mean, just because
Yeah.
I'm
We need a
plugging-
Max Mercury.
Yeah, I have the original. When he's broken.
I mean, we do need a Bart. I mean, I was plugging myself now, but look at this beautiful reel I posted.
Yeah, that's
earlier.
the Bart
Impulse.
I've got.
Yeah.
You know, but we are
Yeah.
getting like a full, Flash
I-
family here coming together nicely.
I think that what Todd's going to do over time, I think it took him a while. I think that he's really figured out, right? He's branched out a little bit. And before, I think he was a little bit apprehensive on like, will these non-bat characters sell? And I think like he's not stupid. He watches reviews on YouTube. Like he never comments, but I'm sure he's watched my videos and everybody else who reviews them. I'm sure he goes through them. And a lot of us have been saying the exact same things. So he's not dumb. And then he's also probably looked at sales and been like, okay, well, these female characters and these non-bat characters haven't sold, but these ones have, right? Like Martian Manhunter and Aquaman sold very, very well. And so has Shazam so far. So I think like he knows. Although he would have planned both of the figures that we're talking about now and even Shazam probably way in the past, but
But
he seems to be doing more basic universe characters.
Have you guys even seen I haven't seen the Speed Metal wave in stores. Like, there's a few waves I haven't seen Mongol or Frankenstein in stores.
Nope.
Even the Gotham Knight video game wave I haven't seen anywhere.
I may
No.
have seen the Speed Metal wave once in our GameStop. Yeah, but we have a really well stocked GameStop. It doesn't get the
GameStop.
It doesn't get everything fast, but
Gets it expensive, but it gets
that's true.
Friends in the chat, have you guys seen friends in the chat? Are you guys having problems finding McFarlane figures? Are you guys just? I actually had a poll or something I could do. Maybe
That
I'm sure
would
there's
be
a
good.
polling we do. But are you guys finding it on Amazon, McFarlane stores? Where are you guys buying these figures? And are you having trouble? Obviously, the Walmart stuff we all know we have trouble finding.
Yeah,
So,
Target's usually the best because if you wait long enough, it will show up.
they can do it, and they have a solid pre-order system too.
My
Yeah.
Walmart is stocked horribly now. They used to be like okay, and you could go in and be like, okay, I'll find something. Like sometimes they got it a bit later, but like they haven't gotten like really anything new in like ages. My Walmart.
Yeah,
Like,
my
no, it's stalled out.
Walmart's empty.
Yeah, it's stalled out, and I hate it when they stall out because you know that they're not going to pick up again until McFarlane pushes something through. So one Walmart in town got the Black Adam wave pushed right through, and like multiples of it, and then the other one never saw it in town. It's weird.
Let's see.
A lot of
Guess I find it
Amazons, it looks
hard.
like.
And
I
Miss
agree.
Booze Hound is in SoCal, actually. I'm in SoCal as well, Miss Booze Hound, Cerritos area.
Yep.
Let's
Booze
see,
Hound here. Booze Hound to Booze Hound. Cheers.
I'm having trouble with Target, but I find it by from Amazon's always solid. Got to give it to Amazon. You don't have to pay ahead
Yep.
of time.
If I can,
And
I'll
are you
pre-order-
guys okay? Like, this is also for like the people in the chat. Are you okay? Do you want to have the figure as fast as possible, or are you okay waiting? Because I saw somebody mention about Big Bad Toy Store, and obviously they're one of the last people
Yeah.
to get it. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I know some people will wait till it gets hopefully on clearance and then buy it.
I don't do that because then that tells them it doesn't sell.
Exactly.
That's
I-
suicide for the figure line you like. If you like it, buy it right away. Don't wait for it to go on sale. I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand why some people wait for it to go on sale because you don't have enough money to just to get one or two figures a month for some people is like kind of a big
Yeah.
deal. But if you have the money and you're just like, oh, I'll just wait,
Mhm.
that we know that kills a figure line for sure,
Yeah.
because that tells Walmart, that tells whoever that the figure doesn't sell, people don't want it. And if by the time they've marked it down on clearance, that's bad. That's very bad for them. And what's bad for them becomes bad for us.
Exactly.
That's just the way that it works.
I'm
So
still worried about superpowers just because every time I go to
And-
Walmart, there's 50 superpowers sitting there. They
It's
weigh
kind of like
warming the
the
you know?
He-Man Skeletor.
Yeah.
What was it? Rise of
Origins,
Evil
or
or
the-
something. Yeah, the Origins one where everybody
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
it, and myself included.
Yep.
We found it, but then nobody could get it, and then they flooded the market with it.
Yes.
And they're doing the same
Yeah.
thing with superpowers.
Yeah. Everyone wanted it. They couldn't find it. The scalpers knew this.
Yeah.
Then they loaded it on eBay for like 2-3 times the price. And then when everyone got their fill. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they were like all in the stores at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
I like
still
the-
sitting
which-
there now as peg warmers or
Seriously?
shelf
I'm
warmers.
hoping though that with like the waves that were announced at like New York Comic Con, that it will come in and hopefully it won't be like how it was with Wave 1.
I feel like that should have been a McFarlane Toys exclusive line or something to their store. Just because I'm worried about it being a Walmart exclusive line right now. Like,
I think Walmart hurts it for sure, just because of the availability of anything in Walmart. Because like, I'm sure Brad's is the same way. You walk into Walmart and maybe there's 2 or 3 figures, maybe, of a certain line, and that's it.
Well, it's frustrating because certain figures will come in, right? Whether it's DC or, and I'm going to stray just a little bit off, the G.I. Joe figures.
Oh yeah.
Wave 1 came in. I was like, cool. And I bought them up. I got some troopers and stuff like that. I probably found about 8 of my figures locally, and that's it. I've never seen them come anywhere close to being near any store where I live since then. Like, that's all. And we got like, if there's like a wave of like smaller 3 3/4 inch, we'll get like 1 case, and that's it. Like, when you look, there's not even a place like with the label for a peg for them anymore. Our Walmart doesn't carry them for some reason.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's frustrating. And then you see other things like the classic 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary He-Man.
Mhm.
That sat there for ages. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, where are all the dad nerds right now? Even if they weren't like if they're not collectors, you're taking your kid to the toy aisle, which, let's face it, there's a lot less kids in the toy aisle lately. I almost never see kids, but from time to time I do. And so you'd imagine, like, why isn't this dad who's my age, like, seeing like, oh, I had that when I was a kid? I imagine maybe some of it's price, but
now, Rob,
so
moral question.
they're sitting
for you.
there and they're not selling.
If you were in the toy aisle and you
Mhm.
grab the new like 90s McFarlane figure you've been wanting, you grab it. Then a little
Yeah.
kid comes up and looks at you and says, "Oh, I was looking for
Oh.
that." Would you give the toy to the kid? Or would you walk away with the toy in hand?
That's
This is an easy answer, Rob. Come on, you know the answer. Punch the
I
kid
turn
and
my
run.
back and run away.
Why do you gotta punch the kid?
Because
Why
it's
you gotta
fun.
punch the kid, Brad?
No, I want to hear Rob's answer.
It would
Be
depend
honest,
on
Rob.
the
Be
figure.
honest.
Okay, it would depend
It's
on the figure.
Monarch.
Like if
It's
it's
Monarch and Wave Rider 2-pack. Last one on
okay,
the shelf.
I'm keeping it. Sorry, kid. Like I'm just gonna like the kid's not buying it, right? Does he have the money or is it his mom? Because I give it to him, and then his mom's like, "No, we're not buying that." And then
I
the
think
scalper comes up.
You know what you do? Here's what you do. You give the kid the toy, because if a kid wants an action figure, let's face it, we're witnessing a miracle, because that's
True.
just not like it was when we were kids. So if some kid is like, I really want to have that Monarch figure, mommy, please, then of course I would go, hey, what's the last one here? You want this? Offer it to the kid. And if his mom goes, no, that's $27. You don't want that. Here, let's go and get you a shut up toy. Here's a Hot Wheels car. Then, okay, then I'll buy it. But if not, I think I would leave it with the kid, take it up the tailpipe, and I would order online. That wasn't me. That was Rob.
Yeah, totally.
Jose asked his family, "How do you guys
So-
think Alan?" So Brad is gonna be nice. Rob is a greedy bastard. Is what we
I am.
learned from
Straight to hell.
this. That's a kid.
So
Sorry.
I know it's like I'm trying to like push this along. I know we have so much to get to. Can we speak about this beautiful figure here before moving?
Oh yeah,
on
I
to
forgot.
some
We
of the
got
other-
to think about the screen.
We
Okay,
gotta
so
talk
we
about
got
the '90s, guys.
first look
Exactly, and it's
at
already
our
10 o'clock. So like I want to like
Gladiator-
make sure
Batman 7-inch scale figure. Thoughts?
the Gladiator one. Like I probably personally won't get it just because I didn't get the Gladiator Superman.
No?
But
You didn't get
It's a-
Gladiator
it's like
It's a
Superman?
different. It's a
No.
different Gladiator, though, Rob.
What?
right,
Like this is from the beginning of metal.
yeah. And
So-
you know me, like I'm not a big metal fan.
That's
As
true.
far as this, I like metal, the music, just not metal, the whatever.
Bro,
but
I'm shocked you
the-
didn't get the Superman, dude. That's such a beautiful figure. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I got him.
it's
and tore
just
him to
I don't
pieces.
know.
Rob,
It's
I
It's
want to
just
see your
not my
pictures
cup
of
of
that
tea.
figure. Really?
I don't know. Like
Okay, but did you read the story?
no.
Okay, well, so therein lies the reason why you didn't like the figure. That's all. I mean, I read
Yeah.
the story, so having a 3-dimensional image of what he looked like in my hand is like.
Yeah,
That was what it was
No,
for
I
me.
totally get that.
Yeah.
It's just
But if you didn't
I'm
read
not
it,
a
I get it.
completist, so I don't want to. I don't get like everything.
I just get upset that I'm not going to see your pictures of it. That's all I care
I'm
about.
sorry.
You know.
He's like, I gotta get all eyeball horny over your pictures because you take such fantastic
Exactly.
photos.
Dude, this guy, man, is such a good photographer. I
No,
told
but
him
like
earlier,
this Gladiator, like the detailing is fantastic.
it's a beautiful
Yeah.
figure.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
I know. It's okay, it's
You know
okay.
what? I think I'll buy him because you're gonna get that one dude on Instagram that predicts the figures, and he's like always right.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen him wrong. So if he's like Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman are coming, I'm like, okay, I believe it. So I'll probably get all 3 of them. And
Yeah.
We got
Just-
to answer this guy's question. Jose asked it 3 times. Hey, how do you guys think Alan Richardson from Reacher should be in the next Flash movies?
he was Aquaman, right?
He was Aquaman.
should he be Flash?
He was
Or should he
also
be the
Hank.
next-
So he,
I think
Yeah,
he's
he had
asking
multiple.
should he be
titles.
Barry Allen, I think is what he might be asking.
I think he's too old.
I think he could be good, but yeah, I think he's too old.
don't like-
Unless we're doing like a different take of it.
I mean, my dream is that Ezra gets his shit together and like
Yeah.
is better because like from what I've heard from people who've seen the movie, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like I mean, problem with Ezra, he's done some weird shit. It's not
I
even
want
the
him out.
Oh, yeah.
usual.
I
it's
want
not
him
the
out.
usual. It's not the usual like drunk stuff or
No.
Hollywood. This is some
He's-
weird stuff he's done.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
some mental issues to work through. And
Yeah.
so personally, that doesn't mean his portrayal of the Flash is going to be garbage just because he's got
Yeah.
these issues. But there is something to be, to be said about when you portray a hero. Like everyone that portrays a hero in the Marvel universe, they have to live by a basic code of conduct while they're under contract, which makes
Yeah.
sense because I mean, they're not just making movies for grown-ups, they're also trying to be a hero for kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So when you got the guy that's portraying the Flash, it's like, Mom, it's the Flash. He's in the news because he was grooming someone and he, the people disappeared with him. Like that's kind of scary, right? So
Yeah. And
but
I
as-
agree, dude.
But
It's,
about
it's hard.
Alan though, I don't like his face.
Ooh.
No, well, no. Let me back up.
This is mean. I
No,
don't like
stop
his
it.
face.
Stop. Let me back up. I think his face is fine, right? He's good at playing Hawk, right?
Oh yeah.
Love him as Hawk, like because his face matches. You know what I mean? Like you got to have like the right face to match the right character.
He
I
plays a
feel
douchey
like
hawk, which how it should be. Like he's
he's like he was born to play Hawk.
Yeah.
Love him as Hawk, just like she was.
I think he
great
would
as
have made a good Aquaman for a movie.
Bearded.
I think
He can look grumpy, so he would have done good as bearded. But I never liked him as short-haired Aquaman either. No.
I liked him as Aquaman in Smallville. I thought
Yeah.
he was great.
Yeah, he was never, and he seemed like a bit of a douche on Aquaman. He was douchey Aquaman a little
Ooh.
bit too.
Ricardo said he would have been a great Shazam. I agree with that. You know,
Oh,
my big problem with Shazam, more off topic in the movie, right? Like in the first movie, like the kid's personality does not match who he becomes as Shazam. Like they're totally different personalities. Like Shazam
little
is
bit.
goofy and funny. The kid is like serious and emo. Like they're almost two different human beings.
And now okay. Do you want to hear how I? Because I remember
Please.
thinking about that. Here's how I like married the two. I was like, okay, I feel like he gets like an adrenaline rush and an endorphin rush and all that. Because all of a sudden,
This
like when he says
comment.
Shazam, he's got like flight and powers. I mean, wouldn't
Yeah.
I know I'd become the goofy son of a bitch if I all of a sudden had all those powers? I'd be like, woo! I'd be like, you get your cell phone charged. You
So
I'd probably be just as
you're
dumb.
saying once he has the power,
Yeah.
he becomes someone else. Okay.
Well,
okay,
I think it's yeah.
go
I
with
think
that.
I mean, wouldn't you be like super excited if you could just fly?
Yeah.
You know?
What
Yeah.
about the guy from Entourage, Vinny Chase?
Who's the guy from Entourage?
It was in the. Did you watch Entourage, Brad?
Can you pull it up? Can you pull it up on the screen?
Well, no, it's in the show Entourage. They make
Yeah.
an Aquaman movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I definitely have no idea.
James Cameron directs it in the Entourage universe.
I have no idea.
All right, let's keep it going. It's 10 o'clock over there on the East Coast, guys.
Still, the night is still young for me.
I started drinking, so now I'm not even paying attention to the time. Oh, speaking of Shazam. Speaking of Shazam.
Yeah. How many did you get, Brad?
I had to pre-order 4. Okay, that was
4.
I had to.
Someone had a gun to my head. I had ordered 4. Hey,
one's
it's the same
for your
place,
kid,
guys.
though, right?
Pardon?
One's for your kid, though, right? Or
Yes, I was going to keep one in the
Right.
package, customize one, have one out for the review, and then give that one maybe to my kid.
Yeah.
And then have one more for like a random birthday present. So like they've all got, like I'll probably keep 2, and then 2 will get dispersed. Is the way it's going to work. But yeah, I ended up.
I
had
think
to
the
buy
head
4.
sculpt's fantastic. Like they
Yep.
are vastly improving with their
I'm having a muscle spasm.
head sculpts.
Hey guys, just because I'm a little buzzed, I'm gonna do a quick giveaway right now, live in the middle of Brad's comments.
Oh wow!
So I accidentally ordered an extra Mongol figure from McFarlane Toys. No one gave me this for free. You people call me a shill. How dare you? In this case, I'm not. But I ordered this by mistake, so I'm gonna give this away right now, live on our stream. All you have to do is go to my Katana post from today, which is underperforming. So this is very self-serving.
I see where this is going.
And just put a comment. Let's say comment with, I don't know, what should they comment with to win this? It's a good comment.
I was gonna say something about a taint, but that's not.
Comment with my tainted heart.
Ooh.
Just write that comment, my tainted heart. I will. I won't even pick it out. Brad and
nice
Rob
spin.
will pick the winner at random. So there you go, guys. All you
Yeah.
have to do is go on my Instagram post, on my Katana post, write my tainted heart as a comment. What's my channel? CJ Yo-Yo, how dare you?
Heart
This
is
guy.
tainted.
How dare you? Let's look up Ahsoka the Geek on Instagram.
Can I
Ahsoka
add
the
something?
Geek.
Can I add something?
Please.
People that already have that figure, I would maybe suggest leave it for people who don't have it. That's typically what when I would do giveaways, I'd be like, if you haven't, please don't, just try to get another one. Then maybe save it for someone who hasn't been able to find it.
Yes.
But I mean, it's your giveaway. You do what you want, but that's something that a lot of people don't think about,
I agree
right?
with Rob. If you already have it, please leave it for someone who doesn't.
Right.
But just go on to my Katana post on my Instagram, Ahsoka the Geek, right? With my tainted heart or my tainted heart. And you had to be in the U.S. though, guys. I can't afford to ship outside of the U.S. I'm sorry. Got to be U.S. based. And I will DM you directly, whoever I choose at random. So there you
Miss
go, guys.
Boozehound, you should just get Instagram if you don't have it. Just get Instagram, and then you can enter.
Exactly. You need
Yeah,
to get
just
on
download it.
Instagram. You know?
With my taint in heart.
My tainted heart. Don't be a jerk. It's Christmas. I like Roland, dude. Roland's a good guy. Or good person. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but okay, so
Eyeball
back
horny.
so other than the fact that Brad's bought 4 of these, Uh,
I bought all of them.
he bought all of them.
There's none left for anybody else.
I gotta say, it's a great looking freaking figure, man.
I love it.
I'll
Dude,
say that the head almost rivals what I would think of like Mafex.
It's Mafex because the E makes the A say its name.
I
would
don't
say
know if
Mafex.
what Brad is saying
but-
is right or wrong, but I
There's
like
vowels. If you have a vowel and then a consonant and then a vowel, the vowel at the end makes the first one say its name. So the E makes the A say its name. So it's
it. Holy
Mafex.
shit. Look at this guy, Mr. English professor.
Well, I don't like to brag, but
Okay.
yeah, no, that's how it is. Because I hear people say Mafex, and I'm like, ugh. Unless someone who like created the company wants to correct me, that's in English, phonetics. That's what it would be, Mafex.
What an educated
Makes
guy,
sense.
dude. You know? All right.
But yeah, the figure looks awesome.
Love the figure.
I want him to do an entire family.
Please. Mattel did
Yeah.
their low budge version of it in their like 5-inch line.
I love those figures too, though.
They were great, but you could
Yeah.
tell they were supposed to be 6-inch versions that they like cheaped out on into the 5-inch. That's what I feel about it.
You know what? The video I made about those figures, which was so, I hate saying it, but it was so much more low effort than a lot of stuff. Because I was kind of panicking. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many figures to do and I want to do a good job, but I don't know. Oh man. So you know when you just kind of like go, fuck it. And you just do something like really quick. I
Yeah.
did one of those and it's my highest performing video ever. I'm like, really?
Really?
Yeah, that has to be my highest performing video. One that I just like shat out. I didn't put like anything extra, not very many funny jokes in there, nothing like that.
Real quick, guys, shout out to Jason Langston. He is one of the creative directors at McFarlane
Yep.
Toys. Hell of a awesome human being.
He's a
Funny.
very, very good dude.
Very good dude. And
Yeah.
he's probably responsible for a lot of the 90s figures we are getting,
Yeah.
which will lead us into our 90s topic if we ever get to it. Actually, let's get to it right now because I think the rest of this
Yeah.
stuff is,
Yeah, we're good.
let's
No
let's
one's
get
talking
to it
about
right
black
now.
and white Robin and Riddler.
No,
They suck.
someone stop sharing.
I
my
mean, I
Well,
like them.
There's a $5 from Ray.
screen.
Oh, okay. So we
Very
need to make
far
sure that we.
Where does
read
that
this.
money go to, though, guys?
I don't know. It probably goes to you. You're the host. You can feed your
Gee.
figure addiction with it.
He's like, I gotta look into this.
I don't even know where it goes.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you,
people
Ray.
have paid before.
I know.
Okay,
It
so
probably
he
goes
said-
into- oh yeah, let's just read his comment.
Yeah,
Right?
read his
'Cause,
comment out loud
yeah.
because he paid. Love the
Love-
content.
Go ahead, please.
Anybody know where I can get a Sovereign Knight long-eared Batman head online? Brad's DC head swap video gave me the customizing bug. Well, you're welcome, and thank you, and you're welcome. The long-eared Sovereign Knight
say-
Batman.
eBay or maybe just I don't know. I would say
eBay
some
tends to be the best bet.
customizer. Yeah, some customizers sometimes get close to the actual official product, but
Yeah,
just depends.
eBay is your best bet. Or keep
I
I
your-
will not
keep your-
call it Evil Bay, but I found so many gems.
I do call
off
it Evil Bay.
eBay. I don't, Rob. I don't, Brad, because I got my bat ski boat that's over there on the wall. You can't see.
Buddy, I
it.
still
I
have
just see a big TV.
I know it's behind the TV. That was a bad transition. But Evil Bay has gotten me so many things that
I know.
never thought would
Listen,
get.
I use Evil Bay as much as the next guy. I just try to. I walk that fine line between like not supporting the scalpers and getting what I need too quick.
I don't support
what
the
I can't find.
scalpers.
No,
You know,
but okay, scalpers or finder's fee people. That's a real question. Someone that goes, okay, I found it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it. It's usually $19, and I'm selling it for $25. I'm like, that's actually not
that's
a big
reasonable.
markup.
$5
Yeah.
for me not to drive around for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
That
when I
is
don't have a
total-
Target in my country.
When they're doubling the price, that's when it's
100% or
out.
150 or 200, then you know that they're taking advantage of the fact that they know we're fans, like they're
Right.
scalping. And it's like I'm conflicted because it's like I know they're just trying to make ends meet, so I get it. Like they're not evil people, but
Right.
I'm
It's
also
a
like,
hustle. It's a good hustle.
yeah, but I'm also like, it's also a really shitty practice to do that. It's like
Yeah,
I'm in the middle, right? I don't like it in general, but
We shouldn't like it, right? But someone's going to the Target, buying the figures that we went there to buy, and then they're selling it to us. This was like, and they do put effort into going there early to make sure we don't get it. So it's a very like,
I'm not-
you know. So it's not like they're
Did
they're,
you
like,
say that
they're-
again though? They do take effort into going there
do put in
early
the effort
to make sure
get
we
there
don't
early
get
to make
it.
sure we
Like,
don't get it and have to buy it from them. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's a scalper, right?
yeah,
They take it all.
Yeah.
So we have no choice if we really want it
right.
to buy it
There-
from them.
Exactly. Then there are times when I see it that way, no matter who it is, when they go there and they buy that stuff, right?
Right.
I can't get it. But then, as someone who lives in Canada, I'm like, but there's things I can't get from Target. You know, that are Target exclusives, and not every Target exclusive comes to Toys R Us or GameStop. And if it does, it comes there usually much, much later.
Yeah.
So it's like, I try to find that middle ground where I'm like, okay, finder's fee. I'll pay a finder's fee. And oh no, hold on, finder's fee. Right? You got to use the air bunnies of that because they haven't found it. They've gone on the lookout to do exactly what you said. Right? And then some poor bastard who lives in your town can't find it because the guy's gone there at like 9 a.m. and put his arm behind the whole row and gone right into his cart.
And that's capitalism. And I am a capitalist, so I cannot, it still sucks though, being on the other end of it, because we don't have time to be out there right when the store opens or, Anyways, let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah, the other big
one
topic.
Rob is most excited for, apparently. Rob, what are you talking about this topic?
Why don't you introduce it, Rob?
Please.
Why the 90s were awesome? Well, because I lived it.
And you lived through it.
I dabbled in reading comics in the late 80s.
Yep.
Like 88, 89, but it wasn't until 91, 92 that really hooked me. You had great storylines, iconic storylines. Now they were changing up the status quo, as you would say.
Big time.
Yeah, so we had the death of Superman, we had the reign of the Superman, so that they were changing the guard. A lot of these characters, they changed the guard. So you had the Superboy, Pretenders, all that jazz. You had Asbas, one of my favorite characters, replacing Batman. Connor Hawke replacing Oliver Queen.
Yep.
You had Kyle Rayner replacing Hal Jordan.
Yep.
And what was great about
they're big stories too.
Yeah, what I loved about these stories too is they fed off of each other in a certain way. Like the death of Superman caused like Hal to go crazy.
Yep.
So that in turn ended up with Emerald Twilight.
Yep.
And
Parallax and Kyle.
Yeah. And then we had Wonder Woman. What was that? Artemis?
Artemis.
Who was that? Yeah,
yes.
Artemis.
Artemis had a stint.
Yeah. So we had like these grand storylines. People were starting to die off. Like death was a thing.
Yeah.
So we didn't know if they would come back. Aquaman lost his hand.
Yeah.
Got a hook. Actually, it's this one.
In the acid, was it had his hand in acid, right?
In the piranhas.
Piranhas, yeah.
Sorry, yes, the piranhas ate his hand off.
And then he had the
brain
lake.
Always thinks acid,
or like the magical water hand later.
Yep,
that came
after.
But we also got like
water hand.
I love the water.
Yeah,
hand.
So magical water hand.
But it's so great. Like, how can you do anything? How can I pick up a glass with a magical water hand?
But like, and then like, we had like, besides long hair Superman, which was pretty rad. Like, let's just say,
so 90s. He had a mullet.
Yeah, and then we had not after the changing in guard, the late 90s. We had them come together with Grant Morrison.
Yes,
with like the iconic. Oh, and Electric Superman. Come on.
Very 90s. Yeah.
Superman Blue. Superman Blue.
Yeah, Superman Blue.
0 Hour. 0 Hour still. I have every issue, every tie-in of 0 Hour.
Good.
I love that story.
Did you collect Bloodlines?
Oh yeah.
I love Bloodlines. That was like an event, like a summertime event.
Yeah.
That like it was weird that like it like happened in the middle of like
Yeah.
all this other stuff, and you were like, wait a minute,
Right.
this
Even
is
in the middle
happening
of
too.
the death of Superman, of the Reign, because I remember there's a
Because
bloodline.
Superboy was in it, and so was
Oh,
Steel.
Right.
I
And
had
there's-
another
they even
one.
reference it. He's recovering in Metropolis, and then he had a little Bloodlines adventure, and then goes off to finish the Reign of the Superman.
We also had in the 90s Batman and Spawn, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, very iconic.
And we had Batman and Punisher, which, if you remember,
Yep.
started with. Did it start with Bruce and ended with Jean Paul Valley, or was it the other way around?
I
'cause
Oh,
don't,
that's
one-
right.
don't remember.
Yeah, and that was a great read.
That's something that I read on the.
We had
Max Milk
fantastic
magazine
artists.
rack.
Dan Jurgens, who did iconic Superman.
Yeah,
Booster Gold, that
Yeah.
was iconic.
Armageddon.
But
What-
Tom
Armageddon. That was
Armageddon 2000.
yeah.
That was
yeah.
that was the late 80s, right?
No,
like,
Armageddon
it
was
90s.
90s.
91.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it 91?
Yeah, it's 91.
That's what
Because
got
I
me
could,
into
I could
comics.
walk farther. I could walk farther away, and I had to buy that at the local Callbacks, which was like
Yeah.
2 miles away, and I couldn't walk that far in the 80s, so it was definitely the 90s.
Batman.
I-
versus
what I also
Predator,
loved
yeah.
from
Superman was
Armageddon
president for
2000,
one
now I'm going to
issue.
go off in a tangent.
Go ahead.
is-
Go ahead.
Armageddon 2001 spawned, like, if you remember what became Suicide Squad, it was Task Force X, did a whole storyline with
Yeah.
Armageddon where they had Captain Atom turning into Monarch, and then like the team fighting that instead of Hawk, because it was like it should have been Captain Atom at the beginning, because I think that was the original plan, and then they changed it to Hawk
Yeah.
later because it leaked. The story leaked.
They changed it.
Yeah, and then we had Wave Rider, of course, and that
Iconic
was-
90s character.
Love Wave Rider. He's
Yeah,
my favorite.
yeah.
and Wave Rider actually helped in with Superman Prey.
Yes,
which
Hunter Prey.
That was, that was
so
a
good.
fantastic read.
They dropped Doomsday off at the end of time. You're like, well, he can't heal from that. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, you flash forward, and what did you have? You had Brainiac grabbing him
Yeah.
right from just before he disintegrated, and then he put his consciousness in Doomsday's body, and then slowly Doomsday's consciousness began to take over his own body again.
What's really funny about the 90s is when we were in the 90s, people called it the shittiest decade for comics.
Oh yeah,
I remember
Well, it's 'cause
specifically.
all the variants
people-
and foil
but
covers.
now it's like it's revered by our generation,
Well,
and like a lot of generations now, like they love the 90s.
well, the thing is, imagine reading like the 90s DC comics from a 60s, 70s, 80s fan perspective.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're like, no Barry, Hal goes
Yeah.
bad, and then he's gone.
yeah, Mark
Aquaman
Waid.
has a beard, long hair, no shirt, and a hook for a hand. Superman has a mullet, and they killed him. Batman had essentially a nobody, just like Doomsday. They were both nobodies, right? They created
Right.
these characters just to screw with our heroes and to bring them to their lowest point. So essentially, a nobody orchestrated all these insane criminals, getting out of Arkham, and Batman had to just catch them nonstop. So this nobody broke Batman's back. The
Yeah.
whole universe was different. So coming from, yes, a 60s, 70s, 80s fans perspective, they were like, they just destroyed our universe. I
Yeah.
totally get it.
That makes
But we
sense,
lived
yeah.
through it. So we're like,
Yeah,
damn, that was some good writing.
Dude,
and
it
we
was a
got our
sweet
heroes
spot,
back,
right?
right? Pardon?
We're around
And
the
Kingdom
same
Come.
age. We're all around the same age. For us, I think we're all in high school, or middle school.
I think it was
42
middle
now.
school.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, so like that was the beginning of our journey into comics. I feel like really collecting, being part of the community, and it was just like
Yeah.
from there, even going over to Marvel, right? You have the Age of Apocalypse. You have like Tim
The
Drake's Robin series.
the Xbox, the X-Men and Spider-Man issue number 1 reboots.
Yep.
And Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee, respectively, on those titles.
Image.
the
And
Spider
then
Clone.
Image came after.
Yeah.
The I can't even say it. The Clone Saga. That was
Oh, the
loved
Clone
and hated at the
Saga.
same time.
That was
Scarlet
Yes, the
Spider. which I
Amalgam-
still love.
Amalgam,
Yes.
Amalgam. Oh, dude, so good.
I
Dark
love
Claw.
that.
Batman, Wolverine, and Captain America, Superman.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Yeah,
and we had the
Batman
DC versus Marvel too in the 90s.
Which
Yeah.
you got to vote.
Twice.
You got to vote.
Yeah, and they were different results between each verses. This is really, but there's a proper way to pour beer so it doesn't give you the burps. I didn't pour it right.
I probably drank like
Dark
too
Claw.
many on mine. I have a decanter here, guys.
I'm a lush. I can drink
cognac
like
there.
8 pints
Son of
before I'm
mine, too.
sloshed. How much do you know? If you drank all that, would you be like stumbling back in the house? And
I mean,
get...
if I wasn't mixing it, yeah, you know.
What
but
is that?
It's cognac. It's a Cavazier.
What's the percentage?
Well, I don't know. It's a good question. But I've been drinking this like my whole life almost, so it's it's hard to get me messed up on this. I got a good buzz though.
I almost never get buzzed. 6 pints and I begin to buzz.
And now, now you see, next time I'll switch to beer and you switch to cognac, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds fun.
And Rob, you
I
just
would
sit
do
over.
that.
You just look there drinking your tea disapprovingly. As Brad and I.
Drink Coke Zero or something.
All right, finishing up the 90s.
Yeah.
So the 90s, okay, for me, the death of Superman, obviously, that really started me collecting.
Yeah.
The reign of the Superman.
That was
It
the
was just
pinnacle of
like-
the 90s.
It was pinnacle. It was transformative for me. I mean, that's such a word, transformative, like so snooty. But it was. It really
kicked
was.
off the 90s changes, didn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
It did.
Yeah.
You know?
It was business as usual before that. Because
But-
I've got lots of those comics from 90, 91, and early 92. No, because Death of Superman was what, January? Was it
December.
January? Was it December?
Oh, yeah. Maybe January.
It was January.
I think it ended in December.
Well, because it took a year, right? There was no
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
comics for a long time, and then they had him like with his dad in Adventures of Superman, right? In the afterlife, and his dad
Yes.
saved him. Pa Kent saved him, and then they had the whole storyline. I think Superman was like the beginning of that, the death of Superman, and it was just like one dark thing happened after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he went
But
from
I think-
he came back, then he became Superman Blue, Superman Red. Then he had an overdose of like solar radiation, got really big.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
And they
had
had
to
to throw him into the sun.
Yes, yes.
I remember
He
that.
got all like fat, you
Yeah,
know.
he was
Oh, and then
huge.
Final Night, right?
Yes,
That was part of it with
He
the
lost his
sun,
powers. That's
where
Parallax
Oliver
saved
had to kill Hal to stop it, right? Didn't he
No, that's
put
the
it like
end
an
of Zero
arrow?
Hour.
That's 0 Hour. I was
Yeah.
getting too confused. Yes.
Final Night,
Well, 'cause-
like Parallax.
Okay, but you also
did a
No Man's Land
No Man's
Yes.
Land.
and Metropolis also fell at one point.
Yeah, that was.
I do
Action
remember
2,
that.
Action
And
500.
the worlds collide.
Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide.
Yes.
Yes. See, the 90s was really iconic.
Dude,
Yeah.
and he had all this bullshit foil covers. Like, let me see. Can I show my wall over
I
here?
must have
So
bought.
I recently
like, the
made this
same-
wall of comics. You can see on my Instagram there. And there's a bunch of foil comics.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you see my comment on that?
I did.
I was like, oh, they're all foil. Wait, no, they're not all foil, are they? How much of those are foil? Like 50%?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
So,
like 5
Ahsoka,
of them.
Were you like me that if like with the Robin one, for instance, it like, had the foil? Did you
The
also
regular?
get the standard
Of
version
course.
too?
Of course you get both of them.
Yeah.
Gotta get both of them. Come
you
on.
gotta get both.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to. You know?
If it had a special cover or a poly
I will
bag,
say-
polybagging was popular back then too.
So
I
ridiculous.
will say though that I only bought one poly bag, which I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I would have bought two of the death and the afterlife one.
Dude, the
so like I
Afterlife one would-
have it,
Wow.
but it's open.
Oh,
and
the
it's
black
in
bag and the white bag.
yeah. So I opened them, but they're still in the sleeve with it.
I love the white bag was like you thought it was going to be such a big deal. Then you walked to the comic store and there's like 5,000 white bags.
I never-
They like
yeah.
overproduced them.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
black bag was so popular.
Right.
I never got the black bag for years. Like I wanted it.
Oh,
And I
really?
remember, I was a kid, and I've been collecting comics since about 85. Because my parents used to buy me like Superman, and like I had like issue 1 of Batman and the Outsiders and stuff like that from way back in the day. So I've been collecting for a long time, but I didn't really catch on. Like I didn't really read them as much as I would now. It's just like, oh, those are cool characters that I like, and I would outline them with my pen. And I had like a desk filled with these. Like, I would outline them until they came out of the comic, and I was like, oh, look at all these little pictures I have of my favorite characters. So, but I have been collecting since then. What was I gonna say? Shit. I got off on a tangent. You guys better remember.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember. You're just talking about collecting and comics.
Okay, yes.
In the 90s.
So in the 90s, I used to walk my arse all the way to this comic shop in Surrey, BC. This comic shop was like a mile away, and it was in like Surrey, BC is kind of a rough area. Even when I was there, it was rough, and it was a comic shop near a roller
by rough he
skating.
means they only say hello once.
No, it
There's
was
no
rough.
light.
No, it was rough. Like I once saw a fight where like two people were legit fighting, and then the one guy began to lose, so three guys. It was Surrey was it is a rough place in BC.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't want to stereotype all Canadians as like a nice, beautiful, magical place.
Most of Canada is fairly polite and stuff like that, but yeah, there are areas that are very like drive-by shooty-ish too. We do have those. Anyhow, so I'm in this like comic shop that's like across the street from like a roller rink called Stardust in Surrey, BC. And I remember I had this friend that I used to take who was a couple years younger than me, and I used to go every week with my $5 allowance. That's all I got was $5, and I would go to the comic shop and I would buy the latest issue, for example, in the reign of the Superman, right? Because an issue back then was like what, $2.75 at the time, or I don't remember what they were. Anyway, there were a lot of money for me because all I got was $5. So I would walk up, get my issue for the week, because if you remember back then, an issue came out every week, right? You had Man of Steel, Action, Superman.
Oh, that's
and
right. They had the
Superman.
triangle on it, right?
Did you
Right.
guys have the boxes at your comic store like we
You
did?
flip through?
Like no, like the boxes, like they would hold it for you like a subscription, basically.
file.
Oh, yeah,
That's
dude,
what I
of
always
course.
did.
They never held my file because I was never smart enough to ask them to when I was a kid. So I would walk there, get my comic off the rack, and go, oh, they have it, the latest issue with the Eradicator or whatever, and get my bag and board and go home with like one or two comics in my hand, because I would usually flip through the box, right, and get some back issues for like $1 an issue or whatever. And this kid, I'll leave nameless, he was a friend of mine. His parents caught on that comics were worth money, because I took my friend and I was like, I think his parents came one time, and I was like, oh, it's the black bag of Superman. You know how comic book stores, they keep like the good ones up high on the wall? They have like a shelf. So I'm like looking at this shelf. I'm like, oh, it's the black bag of Superman. It comes with an armband and a poster and a trading card for the new series that's coming out. I knew it was in it. And so she was like, oh, is that worth money? And I was like, well, yeah, it's $75. That's how much it was back then. $75. And I couldn't afford it. You know what that silly cow did? Because it was worth money. She bought it. She bought it. And she would come to the comic shop with me and my friend. And every time I would go buy my two comics, she would buy two of every DC comic that caught her eye. So Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman. And she'd be like, now we got to buy two of each one to read and one to keep in mint condition in the box, because they're going to be worth a lot of money someday.
Ouch.
Yeah. And all I could think was, you bitch, you bought the black bag and I was saving up for it.
Well,
like,
poor,
darn it.
poor woman.
Yeah.
She's
And like,
she's got a bunch of over-speculated 90s comics.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So I never got the black bag because that was the one I was saving up for. And she just like walked in and bought it. And the thing is, she didn't care about Superman or the black bag or any of that. She just saw future dollar signs. So she bought it. I get it. It's fine. She could buy what she wants, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be pissed off about it. She crushed a 12-year-old boy's dreams. So I never got it. I got it opened later in life.
But do you ever get revenge on that lady? Did you TP her house?
No, I only lived in BC with my family for 11 months.
Well, listen, dude. We have time. You can still TP her house if she's still around.
Okay. Did you guys get the new black bag though?
No.
No.
I missed out on it. I bought two of the variants. I haven't read them yet, but like there's like some. What's the black bag? Subliminal says. Oh,
the black bag.
So Subliminal. I'm gonna Google this while we're talking.
Do you remember when they came out, and then there was speculation. Well, you shouldn't keep it in the poly bag because it's going to deteriorate and it's going to ruin the comic. Do you remember
I
that?
did hear that. It was actually on the Shopping Network. The
Yeah.
Shopping Network had, for some reason, a whole bunch of them, and they were selling them for, I think they were $70 a piece,
Oh wow.
something like that. The Shopping Network.
There's the black
There it
bags.
is.
And the white
basically,
bag.
That black and
subliminal.
white bag.
The Superman 75, The Death of Superman, came in a black poly bag.
Yeah,
It came
now
with
you
the
could get
poster?
that was the first print in the black bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe the
And
second
it had the
print,
Tombstone.
Right.
Yeah, cover.
That's what. Yeah.
yeah, well, over top of the regular cover, if I
There it
remember
is.
correctly.
So this is the new
Yep.
version of the anniversary one. Look at this.
I mean, it's good to see poly bags again. Just you know, but
It's
okay, but they do have like a basic black bag version. Yeah, they have different colors. What's the significance of the different colors?
So it's not even the poly bag. This is just like a chrome coloring.
A chrome cover?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're doing the foil covers again.
yeah, they're doing foil covers
Yeah.
for this, and they're freaking ridiculous, dude.
Can you click on that and make that bigger in
Yeah.
images? Let's get a better look at that.
Did you see it? Oh, it's not coming up. I'm sorry. It's not sharing properly.
Doesn't it just share your screen?
It
No?
does, but for some reason when I click on it, it's not like displaying it. I don't know why.
Oh, maybe it's copyright reasons.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I did want the new black bag version because it obviously comes with more than the comic. It comes with more stuff on the inside.
I do
Yeah.
too. You gotta get it.
Yeah, I did. Now, did you guys read it? Did you guys read the
did.
anniversary? What did you guys think?
Oh, not the.
Oh, I haven't
anniversary,
read it.
no,
I
but
have it sitting here. I haven't read it yet.
I
You
thought
guys
you were
haven't read
talking
it
about
Now, is it
no.
good?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it fills in the blanks. Like it adds to the
Okay.
story. Like it doesn't take away from it. It doesn't really do anything new per se. It's just more like context.
Okay.
Without wrecking the whole thing, the first story is Superboy seeing like another version of Doomsday pop up, and his pappy is fighting him, but it's like young John, so it's not like older John now, and so obviously it takes place in the past, and it's how his son sees the fight and how it's happening and how it affects him and his perspective. It's really neat how it all works out.
Okay.
And then the next one is Mom Pa Kent. We have a John Henry story in it. It is a fantastic. It's like a nice homage to the 90s, as the
Nice,
whole thing
okay.
is, right? With the foil covers and the black bag. It's an homage to the 90s. And I'm not sure, but I think Bogdanov comes back for the John Stewart story. John Henry Irons story. Don't quote me on that,
It's okay.
but I think he does, because he's the one that did the artwork for him, right? For John Henry.
Yeah, that was his first reveal. Was Bogdanov or Bogdan? I can't see it.
I don't know how you pronounce his name. Bogdanov.
Yeah,
is what
we
I
don't
call
know.
it.
We'll go with
Yeah.
Bogdanov. you
Yeah,
know?
iconic.
Yeah,
and
he has
simple and
such a
blocky.
a distinct style.
Yes. Yeah, very
So
very
good.
distinct.
I
I
mean,
didn't like it as a kid.
I have two omnibus versions of. Here's one of them. I have another one just because it has a different freaking cover. That's how obsessed I am with this.
Yeah, he was the
Story.
first. Yeah, you.
Look at this. It's this. Oh shit!
Oh no!
It's okay, it's fine.
That's
It
great.
missed the
though.
cognac. But look at this. Look,
That's
they're the same
great.
freaking thing. I just bought it, but this one had a better cover.
Yeah, it has the classic with the cape, right?
In the classic with the cape, and
The cape at half mast.
look at this. Look at this.
Did you ever notice that the cape is at half mast, like a
I
flag
never
at half
noticed that
mast?
until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
There's Bogdanov. Right
yeah.
there.
His artwork was so. I didn't like it at first. I was like, it's
Me
so
neither.
big and weird, but then as of like seeing many artists come and go, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of really great artists now, like fantastic.
Mhm.
But I look at Bogdanov's art and I go, yeah, but there was something so 90s about his artwork. Like I tend to look at the whole, the Superman action figure line from the 90s.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
I tend
Yeah,
to
I
look
still
at a
have
lot of those figures. Yeah, and those figures, a lot of them, Superman and Steel, at least those characters look like they're more based off of his art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I like it now. I get excited when because he still draws. He's still doing stuff, but
I missed
and
that
his style's
line.
actually changed though. His style's not the same either.
I did not do the mail away Eradicator. I wish I did.
I did it
You did.
2 or 3 years ago. I bought
Yeah.
it off Evil Bay. I didn't do it back then because it was
Yeah.
too late by the time I found out.
Shit,
It
I'm
was
tempted
what was
to
it?
But I
Code
love the
exclusive.
conduit, right?
Oh,
Conduit. Is that how you said it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I thought
Buddy
that
Pete.
it was awesome because it was like the action figure didn't take that long to get an action figure of a new character, and I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, McFarlane's doing that now, but
The only thing I wish about that action figure line is that we got a regular Superman.
We
Like, we
did.
tech-
that was not
Well,
the
we
long
got
hair.
flight action, right? But
Oh,
his
that's true,
arms,
yeah.
like and his head went up, right?
Yeah.
We never got like a regular Superman that didn't have like that kind of. We had to wait
don't
until
like-
Total Justice, and he was like all pre-posed and shit. Like,
Yeah, the pre-posed of Total Justice was like,
By the
but
way,
I mean,
this
I collected
figure
it.
Totally
I have them
reminds me
now,
of a
but
Total Justice figure.
It
You
does.
know,
that's Turbo Man.
and I love it. Yeah, it's Turbo Man as well.
That's Turbo Man. I
right, guys,
want to
we
get him anyway, but
We should probably wrap this up soon. I
Is
ran
it-
out
what
of
time
ginger
is it?
ale.
10:42.
Yeah, I ran out of ginger ale a little while ago.
Is
So
it-
I'm sitting
we-
hard stuff.
Wait.
I should
Do you-
spend some
here,
time with my wife.
Take a shot with me.
All right,
what do you got?
do it. I got cognac, straight up cognac now.
Okay, that's right. You got... Now, what's the percentage? You don't remember, do you?
It's pretty high. Anyone in the chat know what the? I mean, I guess I have Google.
I
Right
believe
here.
this is 40,
It's not as much as
42.5.
vodka.
I don't like vodka because it tastes like nail polish remover, but I do like a good whiskey.
So
you
you've
go.
drank nail polish remover.
No, but like
40%.
it. Okay, it tastes.
I know
how
what you
nail
mean,
polish
though.
remover smells. And if
Yeah.
I did, I wouldn't tell anybody. Okay. Oh, hold on. It spilled.
Cheers,
Hold on.
Rob, and your tea. Rob,
Ready?
you got to drink a little bit next time, buddy.
I
Cheers.
Cheers,
I need
boys.
to go to the grocery store and get some alcohol.
There it is,
Oh, that's
right
a
there.
good whiskey.
It's a good cognac.
It's grown on me. I didn't like it at first.
Did we have any more topics? Oh, you guys have time to fit it? You want to go an extra 15 to do 2 hours?
That's fine.
I've got all the time you guys need.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do. The
I'm going to
next
be down here
topic,
till 1 in the morning anyway. So
Beast Kingdom, Batman '89. I want
Oh,
to talk
yeah.
about this.
Boom.
Oh,
Yes,
oh, before,
I
let me-
have
let me-
thoughts on that too.
Yeah, let me get to Beast Kingdom's site because a lot of people have been asking. Not really, like 2 people have asked me. All right, let me share my screen. Before we do that, let's go over to my page and see if anyone participated in the giveaway.
Oh, you know people did. It's a
Let's
Mongol
see.
figure for sure.
I would hope someone did.
And it's free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff's
Who
always
doesn't want
great.
free stuff?
Oh,
Just
there's
do free-
Katana. Look at this
I-
beautiful
I-
picture no one liked.
I like that.
I liked it.
Yeah.
You did.
And
thank
I
you
wish
for
I
it.
had that figure too.
Oh,
I
it's such a
love the
good thing.
bombshells.
Oh, look, got some people entering the contest.
Look at that.
I love it. Okay, all right. I will pick a winner, or someone will pick. Oh, look at this. All right, we'll pick a winner tomorrow.
What we should
I'm
do
sorry.
is get their names and you can randomize them.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
Now-
with YouTube you can randomize, but
Has the likes gone up? I don't
It's
remember.
at
what you started at.
241, so
you're
I
supposed to
mean,
like the picture and comment,
it's okay.
right?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is? I'm trying to find. You know, let's go to Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Let's
You
just
can also
say-
see the pictures on Big Bad Toy Store.
Ahsoka, you have 53.5. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a good week
I
for the algorithm.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
never did get that Batman, that Dark Knight.
I'm sorry, I'm going so
They're,
fast.
they're expensive. I'm waiting for the Dark Side. That's what I'm waiting for, and that's
Okay.
because he just looks so badass.
Let's go to good old Google search. There we go. All right, so this is what we're talking about. Oh, what is this?
Make sure you find the pictures with the new sculpt. Remember that because they changed the head,
They did.
Yeah, you're right. Where's
narrower
the-
face to wider.
Go to
I-
Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah,
I
was gonna
think
say
they
Big Bad
show
Toy
the-
Store.
I think they show it in the sculpt that the face has changed.
Yeah, and I watched a few.
Just click on
reviews.
I was gonna say just click on DC tab, and then it's scroll down, and right there. Yeah, beside Darkseid. Yep.
Ta-da. Whoa.
Good call, boys. I didn't even notice about this shit.
Nope, that's all Rob. That's his genius.
Look at you guys.
I was just looking at this page today.
There he is. Okay, so what do you guys think?
You go
You-
first, Rob. You go first.
Okay, I want to like it. I'll just say, I think what's stopping me is the knees and the waist, because you can see that it's like a shinier or it's a different sheen
Yeah.
in the knees and
Yeah.
the lower torso, like in some of the other shots. I think they hide it really well. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Old face, new face. I'm glad they updated it.
I think they hide it really well with some of the shadow work that they do.
Yeah. Showing the
But,
figure
I mean-
in the best possible light.
Yeah,
It,
but like, yeah, it looks good. It's just, I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm good with my NECA one.
I'm
I
good
love
with the
and hate that
Mezco one they
figure.
never sent us.
Pardon?
What's that?
I said I was good with the Mezco one that's never been released.
Oh yeah.
The
Did you
Mezco
see
is
the
one I'm waiting
comment? Did you see the comment? Okay, I gotta read. I gotta find this really quick. It's on Mezco's page.
Now, while you're
They
finding that, oh, go
they
ahead, Rob.
they reposted one of my photos of Hal and Arthur, and it said, "Name a crossover that would break the internet." And someone said, "Releasing a figure you should have would definitely break the internet."
I read that
Ouch.
this morning.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Over
I
breakfast.
thought that was
That was a
fantastic.
gem.
I remember reading that this morning. Yeah.
Ooh, Ricardo said there's already a review on YouTube. It's
Yeah,
not
there's a few of
looking
them. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with Ricardo on this one. Have you finished your thoughts, Rob, or because I can wait?
Yeah,
as
I
long
mean,
as you that you want to say.
I do like. I know, Ahsoka, you're a big fan of Beast Kingdom.
I am.
have
I am
re-
holding up my Heath Ledger Beast Kingdom.
Yeah, and that's a really
Yep.
good one.
And this is a beauty. This is a beauty. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a weird, like
Weird
they're
scale.
they're a toy
Yeah,
that's made to look really nice, but they're not trying to be. It's a weird toy. It's so
Yeah.
hard to describe
I-
what they
Well,
are.
collectible. I call that a collectible, not a toy.
yeah. I really like the
They
the
would not
Aquaman that
handle
I
the pull
have.
test. Pardon?
Aquaman that I have. I really love,
I never got that.
which
one.
is it's the exclusive one that they did where it's in like the classic colors, but it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
movie Aquaman.
Yeah.
Brad, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Brad, what are your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts, Brad, please.
Well, my history with Beast Kingdom is kind of spotty. Like what's my history? I had Steppenwolf, right? Because I never did the collect and connect Steppenwolf from Mattel. So I got the Beast Kingdom Steppenwolf. Now he looked great. His axe was made out of like metal.
Yeah.
So it was substantial.
Quality
But it was
act.
it was so heavy. His electro axe was so heavy that it pulled his arm down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of the ball joints, if you go back and watch my review, you can actually kind of see my frustration where the joints aren't really tight enough and he was kind of too wiggly. And if listen, I'm not an articulation snob. Like I'm good with good articulation. I don't need excellent articulation. I don't need all my figures to be able to pose like Spider-Man. However, that being said, if you can't even stand your figure up on 2 feet without it falling over because all the joints go bleh, and he
Yeah.
melts like a marionette, then there's a real problem with that. And so that was one of the problems that I ended up having fairly quickly with the Beast Kingdom. You started to see it in the video, but afterwards it was bad. And Steppenwolf fell off my shelf, and I believe it's on Instagram. I took a picture. He broke. Like he's not fixable. Like he's done. And I paid a lot of money for it. Now the Batman and the Superman, I never liked the skin tones. Their
Yeah.
skin color was too dark. It was not the color of the actual character. So I never liked that. I never liked I was okay with the blue tone for Superman, but it wasn't ideal. You know what I mean? Like, so I liked them. They were good, but they weren't great. If you watch my reviews, you'll see that it's not all
I
praise.
think what they excel at, like what this Joker is the soft goods with the figure. it hides the articulation.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
I
it
think the
looks
Joker was
looked
fantastic.
premium.
They've learned a
Yeah.
lot, right? I definitely think. Now, this is what I was going to finish up. So I don't have a good experience with them completely, and unfortunately, the problem is you do a review, and that's your immediate experience after having it out of the package that day, right?
Yeah.
The follow up, if we could make follow up videos and say what's it like 2 weeks or a month or a year after, you'd probably have a different video for some figures.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have had with my Beast Kingdom stuff. So that Batman, for example, number one, I did pre-order it, him and the Joker, but then I canceled it so I could afford more Christmas presents for my kids. I was like, okay, they're gonna come. That's gonna come out.
You are a good father, Brad, and we respect you for that.
Going to be inconvenient for my Christmas shopping, so I canceled them. And then when I saw the review, and this is to go along with what Roland was saying, I wasn't that impressed.
Wow, I gotta go watch the reviews.
Some of the things that Rob was saying, exact same thing with the different colors, but for me, the face is important. If the face doesn't look the same, then I've got a problem. Like I can't envision it. It does not look like Michael Keaton at all. Don't expect it to. If you do, you're going to be sorely.
Would you say it's like a Toy Biz version, like where it's like kind of maybe like
the first like the first release of the Toy Biz where it kind of looked like. I know that the second one had the square jaw, didn't look like him. They kind of redid the first one again. And they did 3 distinct faces, and they did the first one twice, right? No, okay. Oh, Kenner did it better. Kenner got his likeness.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the Dark Knight collection,
dude, they did a great job with his likeness.
Yeah, better than Beast Kingdom did. So, so for me, it's like the likeness is one thing, and the other thing is the scale. Like I like 7-inch scale. I like what McFarlane's doing right from the beginning. I was like, listen, Todd doesn't have to make his figures in 6-inch scale. He's not beholden to you. He's his own company.
Yeah.
He can do what he wants. And it's actually to his benefit not to make figures that people can cherry pick and choose. Like, well, I've already got a Flash and a Wonder Woman and a Green Lantern I like, but I want to get Todd's Batman and Superman. He's just losing money at that point.
It's a good business decision, right?
Because
they're like, but even I'm already doing that because I don't care about scale.
Todd, look, he's always been like that. Right, his figures, he wanted them to stand just a little bit taller than the ones that you would have already had, so it's fine. That being said, the Beast Kingdom figures, they're far and few and they're sparse, right? And they're not all from a coherent storyline. You have some Dark Knight, you have some Batman, you have some movie figures, you have a few comic book figures, and it's like, where would I put it?
Yeah,
That's the second thing. Like if I only have like 2 figures in like that weird scale, I don't know where I would put them. That's another reason why I don't ever try to collect the 1/6 scale. They're too expensive, and where would I put them? Because I could only ever afford.
That was one of my questions. How come you don't collect Hot Toys? You never been tempted?
A few times. You remember when they re-released like Comic Superman, Comic Batman, and Flash?
Yeah.
I was tempted to get those, but then again, it's like, where do I put them? Like, where do they? I'm a builder. Like, I like to build families. So I've got like DC Universe Classics heroes, bad guys. I got all my lanterns that are bad on that side. I got all my Green Lanterns upstairs. They're all DC Universe Classics. They're all on the same scale. And then I love Todd McFarlane building another universe we can collect all on the 7-inch scale. So that's what I'm about, right? The more of the same scale in the same universe, the better, because I imagine them all together.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Rob, what is your take on this Joker, Beast Kingdom? You own one Aquaman from Beast Kingdom, which you love. What's your take?
I do love that. Yeah. I think if I look at them, not so much like a figure that you would buy in a store. Like they're more premium, even though they might not feel premium. But I will say that their soft goods are probably more on the premium side. If they have clothes like the Joker, I think they look better because they're hiding. What I've never liked was the circle in the shoulders.
They have ugly articulation points.
Yeah. But I think they've definitely improved. I don't know how tight their joints are. I know my Aquaman's joints are super tight.
Yeah.
So Yeah. I think what's weird about the Aquaman though is the one face doesn't look like Momoa, but the other face does.
Yeah.
And so I just keep it with the one that does, obviously. But
I think Mattel killed it.
Oh, dude, that Mattel line. How
Yeah.
if they had done like
Mattel's
4
Momoa
waves,
was
5 waves of those figures?
the Mattel Momoa was better than the Mezco 1/12 Collective face.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I
have
put
both,
the Mattel
but-
face on the Mezco figure.
Dude, the Aquaman movie, just like the creatures, the world. I wish we had got so many more figures from that like universe. It was so good.
It was.
I love that movie so much.
I just want to give like a thought on that Joker though.
Yeah, please.
I feel like that Joker is probably, out of everything that I've seen from Beast Kingdom with their DC figures, I feel like that Joker is the best thing they've offered. Like I actually would buy that Joker. I probably won't buy the Bat. If I buy the Batman, it's because it's been a slow month and nothing has really came out. And I'm like, well, I got this action figure money burning a hole in my pocket.
I think like,
but
Brad,
I would buy the Joker.
If you buy the Joker, I almost feel like you kind of should buy Batman because then you have something to stand them next to each other.
See, usually I would agree with you. Like 99.9% of the time, I'd say you're right. I'm not impressed by the Batman.
Yeah.
And so to spend like it's $119 American.
Yeah.
Think what that is Canadian. That's why I haven't bought the super. Can you scroll down to the Superman there?
And I have the Superman
right there. Yeah, and I watched your review because I was never going to buy it, so I watched your review.
And
the colors are great, but I don't like the face.
Yeah.
And I don't like the body proportions. So
I like the figure, but it's a tough one, man. It's a really weird figure. You know?
Yeah. That's very
this is weird. It
is a weird figure.
Yeah.
What's the skin tone like in person?
Here, I'll grab him.
Because like I saw your video, right? But like lighting can be deceiving. Like, so what's the skin tone like?
Let me roll over here, grab him. The skin tone in person's it's nice. It's like a little darker than the Mezco Christopher Reeve Superman, but it's I'm back now.
So he almost looks, say, Mexican in skin tone.
Yeah, perhaps? it's pretty good skin tone, but it's
now
just
is
like
the S on the cape. Is that not yellow? Or it is yellow. Okay, but it's not full yellow.
It's DC Superheroes. Toy Biz yellow.
It's just a weird, in certain angles I love it.
Yeah.
In other angles I don't.
Yeah.
It's
see? So
it has a little bit of what is it? I want to say Mego.
Brad mentioned a marionette feel to it.
Does it have a marionette feel?
Kind of. Like now that I listen, it's just like it's. It's
he looks like the Superman for that movie. What was that called? Shoot, the marionette movie.
Oh,
Super Force or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, America. Fuck yeah. Can you wiggle that for me, Jay?
He looks like he would be in that movie.
See if the joints wiggle. Like hold it up by his torso and wiggle it. I want to see what the legs do and the arms. Is it wiggly? It looks like it's fairly tight.
It's pretty. It's tight. It's very tight. Like when you put this figure next to this beautiful Heath Ledger Joker.
Yep.
They're just like totally. I mean, this is supposed to be a comic book version.
Yeah.
But they're just like so.
Night and day.
Different. Night and day. So so weird. This figure. Like yeah.
Case in point, though, like to your point, Rob. If let's say I didn't buy that Superman, but let's say they made like just a sick looking Doomsday or Lex Luthor, I would definitely buy it. Well, again, case in point, I'm buying Darkseid. I think the Darkseid is going to be fantastic. And if they scale him right there, if they scale him right, you'll be able to pose him with 6 or 7-inch figures.
Yeah.
So he'll just be like, I'll just treat him like the generic Darkseid.
Yeah.
He looks so awesome. That's probably the most stoked I've ever been about a Beast Kingdom figure.
It looks great.
Look at how huge he looks.
Yeah.
What a sexy figure. I love it. Oh, I'm getting.
I will say the Mezco one is nice. It's just too small.
Is it too small, Rob?
The Mezco one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it depends on which artist you're reading, though, right? Like if you're reading like 80s, Or if you're reading, what was that one? What was the storyline again where Jon Stewart was responsible for a planet's demise?
Oops.
Oh yeah, Fatality.
I
Wasn't she
knocked
like
that
tied
over.
to that or something?
It was a whole planet. Like they broke off into groups, right?
Yeah.
What
Grab
was
him.
it? Oh, geez. In the comments. What was
Okay,
that?
yeah, I guess it's not too bad.
Like it
You're
depends
right.
on who's drawing him, right? Like New 52,
Yeah,
he was too
you're right.
big, I think.
You see that?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. See, you could kind of use him.
You get away
because
with it, yeah.
Mongol and Doomsday are two characters, Rob, that if you like look back at all the artists,
Yeah.
the people draw them different sizes. It wasn't until the New
Yeah.
52 they were like, nah, he's like
And
twice the size of a regular
And I
human.
do prefer Darkseid to be more human scaled.
Yeah, like
my
superpowers.
Yeah, like I don't want
Yeah.
him to be like this tall. Like this tall or like this tall, I think is
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Honor Guard
So, yeah.
says that they have the Storm Collectibles Injustice Darkseid. Great figure. I'd have to agree.
I was never a good. I never liked Storm collectibles.
You know what?
Rob, the dark side is awesome.
Yeah, I collected all of their DC figures, and I was so stoked they had that Superman and Batman that were supposed to be coming out.
Right? And they never
And-
released them.
No, they were like figure tees. Yoink. Really?
Everybody says that the what is it? The Doomsday is so good, but I think the Doomsday is ugly.
You know what? You know what? If you pop a different head, a better head on that body, 100% better figure. It's just a head.
I think
Seriously.
that the Mattel Doomsday is probably the quintessential
Oh.
Doomsday.
The second one they released, right?
Yeah.
When they went out with a
The
bang.
big one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite Doomsday figure as far as looks, because it looks like the Jurgen's artwork just jumped off the page.
Yeah.
I love that
loved
figure.
it.
But seriously, if you put a different head on that Storm Collectibles, because
Okay.
the reason why I had a hard time with the Storm Collectibles was because the head looks too small. Like it
Yeah,
looks
it's
just
too
like,
small, too narrow.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the braid in the back. Like, what the frig is
You know what?
Doomsday gonna braid his hair for?
One thing I'll say about Doomsday, go watch the Krypton TV show from a few years ago on Sci-Fi.
I fell off that.
Dude, the Doomsday they had in there looked freaking fantastic.
Yeah, I
Like,
heard.
go
So
watch
this
on
is
YouTube.
Smallville Doomsday.
It's dude, way better than the Smallville Doomsday. You know?
Brad,
Yeah.
are you doing a review of McFarlane's DC Superpowers? I'm halfway done the video, like I was 2 weeks ago, like I was a month ago.
All right,
The
guys.
problem with that,
we gotta go. It's 8:00. I gotta go spend time with the wife.
I haven't done it
Eight
yet.
2
I haven't finished
hours,
it.
guys. We did a 2-hour show. 2
That
hours.
we did.
DC Infinite Hours.
Exactly.
It's infinitely 2 hours.
You know, and 67
All right.
people are still with us.
I'm taking one more shot. Anybody at home who's watching, who happens to have a can of beer or
God damn it, Rob! I gotta do
a
a shot
bottle of
with you.
whiskey,
I
hey,
just can't. It's
go to
against
your
my,
fridge,
It's like
go to your
morally,
booze
I
cupboard,
cannot
go to your home bar,
not have a shot while you have a shot.
go grab
I
your
mean, I could go
booze.
get a shot, but I'd have to run upstairs.
Run upstairs.
Okay,
Everyone, you got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Let's give them 2 minutes, Jay, and then we can
2
we can sign
minutes.
off.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Everyone gets 2 minutes.
Everyone's gets
Go get
2
yourself a
minutes
shot.
to get a drink.
Take a shot with us. Oh,
2 minutes,
just Dizzy
yeah.
Page. Don't take it yet. Don't take it yet. Wait. Let's take it all together. We'll all cheers.
We will. We'll wait for Rob.
Simultaneously.
Wait for Rob. This is our like post Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Look
Yeah.
at Rob's beautiful background. Look at that wainscoting on his wall. Beautiful white.
Yeah,
What?
dude has a fantastic area. I also let's
Yeah.
quickly go through some comments.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes. till
2 minutes
call.
last
That's
call.
right, Roland. How about the Icon Superman versus Doomsday? Love it. Have it.
Oh,
The final figure version of Doomsday is perfect. Yes, it is. Agreed. I'm so disappointed that Storm, Superman, and Batman weren't released. Absolutely. Should Johnny Depp be on the next Batman, Matt Reeves? Yes, he'd be a great Joker, but they've already probably got him cast. I'll go crack open a Heineken. Yes, you should, Fernando. What else do we got here? I'm going to scroll up the comments.
go for it.
Yeah. Legends
I'm back.
or Millennium? Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Millennium. I like
Ooh,
Millennium
I go
better.
Millennium.
I just grabbed the
Yeah.
first thing.
What do you got there?
Oh,
Joaquin's?
a
What's that
liqueur.
say?
A liqueur, I
I
think.
can't read it. It's blurry.
I know.
Rob-
I'm sorry.
Rob's camera is too good.
Wow.
It's
That's like a grown-up drink.
blackberry flavored brandy.
Ooh. Brandy. You can drink it or put that in your baked goods. All right, everybody, hold on.
All right,
It
guys.
probably hasn't been 2 minutes. We probably got about 30 seconds left. Let's give it more time.
We'll give him 30 more seconds.
The actual figure doesn't look as wide as the render. Is he talking about the Superman or the Bat? Roland, are you talking about the Superman or the Batman? It doesn't look as wide as the render. Here, I'll scroll down. That way, when you answer, I can see it.
Brad should be in DC movies. I agree.
Jäger. Yes, have some Jägermeister. I'd love to be in DC. You know what? I wouldn't want a main role. I think it'd be funny if I was in DC movies
I
as like.
was in a DC movie.
What?
Pardon?
Which one?
You were?
I was extra.
Oh, I know you told me about this 2 weeks ago
Yes.
after the
Which
stream.
one?
ended,
Which
so-
one, Rob?
I was in the Dark Knight Rises.
Look at you, bro. Freaking.
I was in the
movies.
football stadium.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They filmed it over there.
Yeah, they filmed
Ooh.
it in Pittsburgh. So I
Dude,
drove
you
out.
Dude, hell yeah.
Mr.
All right,
Don't
have
Know
another
What
drink.
To? Okay,
Let's
you
do
ready?
it.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. Super
Yes, thank
happy you
you.
joined us. Really. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Whoa. You know what I can never do enough of? Fireball.
Love
Ooh.
Fireball.
I think I might have some.
That Fireball. I went to Indiana, and for some reason I couldn't get drunk in Indiana. No, it's weird. I'm not making it up. I could
It's
not
like a
get
movie
drunk.
title. I couldn't get drunk in Indiana.
That's
Couldn't
a
get
song.
drunk in
That's a
Indiana.
country song.
That's a country song.
I drank so
Got
much in Indiana.
days in Indiana.
Everyone would be hammered around me, and I'd be like, I've had 10 pints, and I am sober. Like, I'm not slurring. I'm walking properly. But I had so many Fireball shots that week that, like, my God, I love Fireball. Tastes
for
like
me-
the mint.
It tastes like
no,
Christmas
cinnamon.
in your mouth.
Tastes like those hearts.
If I don't,
Valentine's hearts.
if I don't eat,
Yes,
I
it
can
was
get
at
drunk off
Heinz Field.
anything.
Sorry,
Oh,
someone
pack
said at
photos.
Heinz Field.
Yes.
There he is, our boy. All right, I gotta go. I gotta
So,
spend
no,
time
no,
with
you
my
were going to
wife.
say something, Jay. Say it first. Say it first.
I was gonna say I can get if I don't eat anything, I can get drunk off beer,
Oh yeah.
hard alcohol. That's the key for me. As long as my
Yeah.
stomach's empty.
If you eat, yeah, your body absorbs
Yeah,
it.
if I don't have anything in my
differently.
stomach, I can like get
Yeah.
a good buzz off beer. As soon as
Yeah.
I eat, game over. Let's go home. I want to go to sleep.
You're probably gonna think I'm lying, but honestly, listen, I like getting buzzed, or even occasionally, the occasional time a little shitty faced, with beer or whatever. But generally, I drink beer because I enjoy it. Like, I like beer. Like, I don't drink generics, and that's not to say the people that do suck. My beer store, you can walk in and pick from this like huge amount of beer, and they have 300 flavors, no less than 300 flavors at any given time. So it's like a candy store. So I've tried so many beers that I'm just like, man, like I
You're an
like.
IPA man, then. You like IPA.
Well, I like IPAs and I like really good lagers,
Yeah.
right? I like some good dark beers. Guinness.
Yeah,
is
I'm a
like an
stout and
illegal-
porter guy.
Yeah,
I'm
Guinness
a
is an
shitty
illegal
American.
on its own.
I like Coors Light. Give me that shit. I
I'll drink
like,
it if like
PBR.
you
I'll
know?
drink it if I'm hammered. Yeah.
All right, I gotta go, guys. We gotta go. We all
All right.
go.
It's that
Yeah.
sad time
It is. It
for
is.
us.
It
when we have
is.
to
Hey,
say goodbye to you, goodbye
Yeah.
to each other, and we're amazed. Everyone,
Thank you.
thank Jay for sticking around as long, because usually he's got to be out
I
of
told
here.
my
Yeah,
wife,
thank
I
you.
said, listen, I'm gonna stick around. She's like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah,
Please, please, do your
Yeah.
thing."
we
You
do
know,
it once a week, right? I mean,
exactly. Every
yeah.
2 weeks.
hang
Guys,
out with your
in the
bros.
chat, I just want to say, friends, we all are nerdy action figure collectors. Never have FOMO. You see us with all our collections. We've been collecting for like 20 years.
Yeah,
So please
Or
do not
more.
feel or more.
yeah,
And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
let's have fun with this hobby. Have fun with each other. You know, social
Yeah.
media is very toxic, but I feel like
Yeah.
it can be very
Very
positive.
very comparative.
Yeah, very comparative, very
Yeah.
like keeping up with the Joneses. But look, I met
Yeah.
Rob and Brad on social media.
Which is
Get to
more
hang out with you
valuable than the
guys.
figures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know? So please, like, take care of each other. Thank you for supporting us. Like, it means the world to us. Like, even if there's 10 of you on this, but we got to like 95 today, and that was like,
Oh wow.
it's amazing. It's just
It's
so
amazing.
nice that like
Yeah,
you guys enjoy this show as much as we do.
the people shared their time with us,
Right.
and we got to share time with them. It's fantastic. It
Rob,
was fantastic.
say some words, please, Rob. Please get emotional, Rob.
Thanks. Thank. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I can't.
I appreciate
can't
my
keep-
spiky hair
I appreciate.
and my
No.
perfect 1980s leading man role looks.
Oh, guys, come on.
Dude, right? Like,
You're a
listen,
handsome
son of a
dude,
bitch.
Rob.
He's so handsome. He's so thin. You
Yeah.
know,
He's the handsome guy out of all of
and
us.
he plays the musical instrument. He plays a guitar.
I
Like,
was
too much,
the
bro.
nerdy, like not
Please,
nerdy.
Rob,
I don't
please.
geeky. I was a beanpole when I mean I still am, I guess, but
Yeah.
I was really thin. Like I was picked on because I was so thin.
I was
in
so
high
thin and
school.
handsome. Everyone picked on me. Please, get out
Not
of
the
here.
handsome part. No,
I can't even with this guy, dude.
no. But thank you everybody for like tuning in. It totally means a lot. I love hanging out with these guys and reading your comments and
Yep.
just getting to build a community
Yeah,
of DC. I mean,
Of
that's what
DC,
this is
yes.
all about.
Yeah.
it's a hard community. We are long-suffering sports fans. You know, we have highs and lows in the DC community. These Marvel people,
Ain't that true?
they don't know what it's like to suffer through multiple regime changes and like, you know, a string of flops. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like, geez.
Well,
we're over
Marvel
here,
has
like,
a share of flops,
I mean,
Oh
come
yeah.
on.
but we have a lot. We have a fair amount of flops too.
Yeah, we do. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in about 2 weeks. And you guys have a good weekend. And thanks again. Take care.